Hello there, my name is Jeff, and welcome to episode 69 of the Game Sharks podcast, where we talk about our favorite thing in the world. Nice. And video games. Joining me this week is Adam.
I saw it coming. Hello.
Derek.
Hello.
And Andrew.
That's what she said.
How are we doing today?
Andrew, that's what she said?
Well, no, it was a follow-up to Adam. What did Adam? I don't even remember what Adam said.
Let's see. It's 30 seconds in, and we're already a mess.
This is
new
a
record.
disaster. Hi, everybody listening and watching. Thank you for coming to this episode of the Game Sharks podcast. No emails today, but we got a little bit of fun news we're going to talk about, and it is the third episode in our series of 4 where we talk about the best video games of each decade. This episode is the 2000s, the noughties.
Stop.
My brother referred to them as the Audis, which...
The Audis?
Yeah.
Somehow worse.
What about just the 2000s?
Yeah.
That's what everyone else
See
says.
how easy that is?
Yeah, it's much better.
But like, if you were like, oh, the 1990s, you sound like a dweeb. You just say the 90s.
Okay,
Yeah,
1990s is at least 4 syllables. 2000s is 3 or less.
Not a fan. Anyways, let's start with the news, as we always do. So remember how, was it last week, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how you will no longer be able to buy games digitally on the PS3 or the PS Vita? Surprise! You can again. All the people out there who rushed to dig out their PS3s and Vitas to buy all sorts of games, they got. So yeah, Jim Ryan made a post on the PlayStation blog just basically saying like, hey, we're not doing that. PSP, still going to retire, but PS3 and PS Vita, we're going to keep the stores open indefinitely, forever.
I think it's for now.
For now.
Until they
Like,
allow
until everyone
all
forgets
games
about
to be
this.
bought on PlayStation.
Yeah, at like till
Regular store.
like a year from now, and they say, "All right, we're really turning it off this time," and then like this time instead of hundreds of people, it's like tens of people say,
So-
"Wait, no," and then it's like too late. We gave you a year.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I don't think this is gonna last as super long. Yeah. It's just like I feel like they had to do it as a PR move.
A lot of people were like putting it to akin to that. They were like, "Oh, this must mean they have some kind of backwards compatible plan or something." But I think it definitely sounds like it's like, I guess we could still make a little bit more money from that.
Yeah, right. Maybe they saw a spike in sales because people thought it was going away.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, people still are using this."
Yeah, like clearly there's a little bit of interest, so maybe hold off.
Yeah. So I'm sorry if you're one of those people who panic bought some games, but like at least you own them now. All right. I'm super excited about this news. Earthblade,
Yes.
a game that has been revealed by, what is it, XOK?
Extremely okay games.
Extremely okay games. Formerly Matt Makes Games. These are the people who made Celeste and Towerfall.
Both solid games.
Yeah, both some of my favorite games. Like Towerfall is an incredible couch co-op game, and Celeste is one of my favorite games in general. So this game is called Earthblade, and they did a vibe reveal. So I put a link in the Discord. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. It's a video of like a slow scrolling up of a painting, and it's also playing a song. And that's all we've gotten so far. We no idea when this is going to be done. They basically said, "Hey, it's going to be done when it's done. Don't worry about it." But we're giving you a little bit of a taste. Lena Raine is doing the music, same person who did the music for Celeste, so very excited
Good
about
stuff.
that. If you listen to the song in the Vibe trailer, the Vibe reveal trailer, like it makes me think about like wandering through a forest, ancient magics that you don't understand, critters popping out of the ground and like selling you stuff. And maybe like a wizard somewhere.
Yeah, I listened to it too. It
Maybe
definitely gives you classic fantasy vibes, like good old fashioned RPG, like adventure game vibes. So I'm very excited.
I don't think they said what the genre is going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be like an adventure similar to Zelda or a Metroidvania. Those are the two that make the most sense.
That's what I'm guessing.
It says on the tweet a 2D explore action game, so it must be like a Metroidvania-ish.
Yeah, like somewhere in that
Metroidvania adjacent at the very least.
But yeah, I'm so hyped for this. I love both of those games. They can't go wrong. Their music's incredible. Their pixel art is incredible. I don't know if it's gonna be pixel art.
I think they did say it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be pixel art. They said.
Did they?
Seamless pixel art world.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Jeff, did you even read the tweet you linked?
No, I mean I did before, but then I haven't read it recently. Anyways, I'm so incredibly excited about this. Yeah, this has immediately shot up there with Project Triangle Strategy, one of my most anticipated games that we don't know anything about, or we don't know when exactly it's coming. But it's probably going to be similar to Silk Song, where we won't see this for like 4 or 5 years, and we'll still be like, "Hey, where's Earthblade? Remember that game?"
Yeah, they specifically said 20XX, so yeah, it'll be out somewhere in the next century.
When foxes rule the earth.
Right. So, who here is a fan of the Castlevania anime on Netflix? Couple hands raised.
Yeah, I watched the first season. I've yet to go see the rest. But
only the first season?
I somehow forgot about it, and then I saw this and like, oh wait, shit, I need to watch the rest of it.
Yeah,
it was good. It was really good.
Yeah, I love that show. It's incredible.
Seasons 2 and 3 like dwarf the first season.
Okay, I guess that's what I'm watching after Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Anyways, the final season is coming on May 13th, which I feel like they've done this for every season. It's just like, oh, surprise, you're going to be able to watch it in 2 to 3 weeks. Every time they announce it.
Netflix specifically tends to do that with a lot of stuff. Like they kind of just, give you short notice.
Yeah, I'm super pumped about this. Love Castlevania. So this is going to wrap up basically the story with Trevor and Sypha. And then apparently there's rumors going around that it's not the end of the show necessarily. Like they're going to do a time skip, because the whole idea of Castlevania is every 100 years Dracula comes back and his castle reappears, and
they could do like a different Belmont.
Yeah, exactly. A descendant of the Belmont family takes it upon themselves to go defeat Dracula. I'm pretty sure canonically Simon is the son of Trevor, or maybe he's second in line, like the grandson. I'm not 100% sure, but like Simon is after Trevor, so I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting a.
Simon is his son.
Is his son? Oh, yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting a season about Simon, who is like probably the most famous of all the Belmonts.
Give me a Richter show.
Richter would be sweet. It would be awesome if they just turned Symphony of the Night into a show. That whole dynamic.
That could be a whole season of an anime.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be really, really cool. So yeah, I'm super looking forward to this. This is one of those few shows that like no matter when it comes out, I put down everything else and just binge it. There are very few of those in my life, but this is absolutely one of them.
Yeah, I think the most exciting, the final season aside, the most exciting part of it is the possibility of exploring the different characters and other time periods in that universe. Because one of my favorite things that media can do is kind of explore the depths of a given world if it's, creative enough. One of the reasons that's frustrated the most about Star Wars recently, Jeff, is that they can't get away from the Skywalkers.
Or the same, 8 planets.
Yeah, and that's why I like Legend of Korra so much, is because, sure, it is still tied to the original story of Last Airbender, but it's still its own unique thing.
It's like a different time period, new technology.
I hope they can capture something like that with this.
It does the very correct thing of use the world you have, but build off of it. Don't just keep going back to the few things you've already developed.
Yeah.
Keep building more, which is, the best thing you can do storytelling wise.
Okay, did you have something
super
you wanted to
excited
say?
for this.
Huh?
It looked like you wanted to say something, but now it makes me think you weren't even paying attention.
No, I was listening.
Okay. Did you
want
to say anything?
I was nodding along.
Okay.
I all I could think about was, isn't that why people don't like Legend of Korra? Is because it does have nothing to do with.
No, it very much has. It's like the perfect amount of going back to the original. It acknowledges all the characters from the original. Like Korra is the avatar directly after Aang, and she needs to learn airbending from Aang's son.
Because he's the only airbender left.
He's one of the only airbenders. So
He's the last airbender.
I guess after I found out that Aang wasn't in it, I didn't want to watch it.
You see, that was most
That's
people's
the
problem.
point, Derek.
That was
watch it.
Yeah, that was most people's like criticism about it. Like Korra is nothing like Aang, but that was kind of the point. Like completely opposite personality.
I'm one of those people who's in the very small camp of I think Korra is just as good as the original and even better in some parts. But
it gets a lot more mature as well, like a little darker.
I think it's approaching the level of Last Airbender, but the Last Airbender is too perfect.
True that.
Yeah, I think Korra doesn't stay as consistent as Last Airbenders. Anyways, this is not a Korra or an Avatar podcast. We'll start that once they start the Avatar universe in the next couple of years. We'll have a spin-off show where we talk specifically about
Avatar.
Okay. Apex Legends. We got a couple cool things from Apex Legends. Derek, you're the big Apex player here still.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think? We'll start with Apex Legends Mobile. What do you think about that? Will you play it?
No, I don't like mobile games.
I also don't like mobile games. However, this is going to skyrocket the popularity. I know in China, mobile games are like the biggest thing because they don't have access to a lot of the consoles, but everyone has a cell phone. So I know PUBG mobile is huge in China still. I think the Call of Duty mobile game is also really
Call
big
of Duty
in China.
mobile is huge.
So I think this is going to help them just blow up and reach more people who couldn't previously reach it, and it's going to be super popular. But for people like us, we're never going to play it.
Nah.
But
I don't even like competitive shooters that much, so
it looks really good because Apex has that I don't want to say cartoony, but like more of a
cell shaded.
Yeah, it's not as realistic as Call of Duty is trying to be. It's closer to Fortnite than Call of Duty. It translates well to the phone. All the textures are kind of dumbed down, blurred. But the general basic premise is there, and it still looks like Apex, which is cool. So yeah, good stuff from. Why can't I remember the name of the developer? They made the Jedi Fallen Order. Respawn. Thank you. All right. The other Apex news is we have a reveal of a new character, and normally that's not something I would really bring up on the podcast, but this character in particular is very interesting. Her name is Valkyrie, and she is the daughter of one of the villains from Titanfall 2, who was a Titan
Viper
pilot. Yeah, Viper was the bad guy. Her name is Valkyrie. Yeah, so it looks like if there's like an 8-minute story trailer about her as a kid and learning how to operate one of the Titans with her dad. And in the end, it looks like she is turning the Titan into like a personalized suit of some kind.
Yeah.
So basically like an Iron Man type situation. So her abilities will probably revolve around that. Have a jetpack of some kind. So yeah, this is really cool. This is what we were talking about not 1 or 2 weeks ago. How they're going to start incorporating Titanfall stuff in. We have a character straight out of the Titanfall lore.
Yeah. So they dropped they do like 3 trailers every season. They do like the story animated trailers, which are really, really good. It makes me seem like they're going to try to do like a Netflix show or something like League of Legends does or whatever. And then they drop like an animated like in-game trailer where it's like the legend shows up in like the in-universe version of the Apex games or something for the first time, and then usually like a day or 2 later they'll drop the gameplay trailer of the new legend. So I don't think there's been anything about what her abilities have been yet.
No,
but
not yet.
They did drop at the end of the CGI trailer, not the story trailer, but the legend trailer. I guess it's called the legend trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That they're adding a new mode called Arenas.
Okay.
And that reveal is, I think, on Monday. And it's basically, I think it's confirming the long rumored that they're adding like Team Deathmatch to Apex.
Oh.
That would be really cool. I like the Battle Royale mode a lot, but I know there's a ton of people out there who would enjoy just playing Team Deathmatch. And
since Apex's shooting mechanics are so solid that you could port that to other modes and have it just flow really naturally.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to go for like kind of like a Valorant style, not obviously not as CS:GO like Valorant, but like, hey, we could have a competitive character-based 3v3 or however 6v6 whatever character-based shooter that is just like arena shooter instead of the battle royale and capture a whole new market, because there isn't anything besides Overwatch. Like there's a hole in that area, right? Like for a while it felt like, why is everybody coming out with these character-based shooters and then all of a sudden they were all gone and only Overwatch was left. And then now like Valorant came out, but it's like more like CS:GO, and I feel like sounds like Respawn is trying to like, hey, let's make ours now. Well, there's nothing in this space. Like not nobody's playing Overwatch, but Overwatch isn't like as popular in the mainstream anymore because Overwatch 2 is just kind of like in development forever. So they definitely have a space to like fill, and I think I'm definitely gonna check it out. This sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think that could be a super fun game mode. I'll definitely hop in there with you. Just let me know when you want to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, it comes down to, again, like they're going off of their Titanfall, like what they learned from Titanfall, and they're like, okay, we have the audience now. Let's just put all of our resources and like what we wanted Titanfall to be into Apex. Everyone's there, so it's like we're getting the best of both worlds at this point. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool.
I was worried this game was gonna like trickle out of existence, but it sounds like they really, really like it, and there must be more and more that they think they can do with it. And so I'm like, after I think like season 5, I was like, I'm kind of losing interest, and now like season 9 is gonna bring me right back in.
Yeah, I haven't played since season like 4 or something. It's been a super long time, but
yeah, there have been 3 legends added that I have never touched.
Yeah,
like yeah,
I think there's 4 or 5 for me. I hope it's not as bad as when I went to play Valorant for the first time since beta last week, and I was 13 and 1 or something like that. It was real bad. My team was not happy with me.
If it makes you feel any better, that's how I was in the beta.
All right, cool. You had mentioned Overwatch, so let's let that lead us into our next piece of news.
Perfect segue.
Jeff Kaplan has left Blizzard, continuing the train of prominent Blizzard developers leaving the company.
It's pretty big. Okay.
Yeah, this is Mr. Overwatch. He has been
Papa Jeff.
He has been in charge of Overwatch. He's basically been the face anytime there's any new content or updates with the game, or like the direction they're trying to take the game, anything relating to Overwatch. He was always the guy behind the screen telling you, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's what's going on. So this is like a pretty interesting blow to Overwatch specifically, and especially because Overwatch 2 is still in development. We're not getting that this year, so it's still even at least about a year out. And now the guy who's in charge of the Overwatch as a whole is gone. They're passing it off to Aaron Keller, who is also a Blizzard veteran, and he was one of the founding members of the Overwatch team.
Yep.
So he's taking over as game director. But yeah, I don't know. What are the thoughts on Andrew? You were the biggest Overwatch fan out of all of us. I feel like you still go back to it every once in a while. So what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I would go back to it once in a while, but I don't have anyone to play it with. So I think this is pretty significant. While I'm not really concerned for the development of Overwatch currently, and also Overwatch 2, because it seems that Aaron has been, a helping hand in that team for quite some time, so he clearly knows what he's doing. I'm not really concerned for the quality of the games necessarily, but from a community standpoint, this is a major blow, like you said, because Jeff is the face of Overwatch. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be the same anymore. It's like hearing Jeff Kaplan talk in those updates with such passion and like clear love for the game is so refreshing compared to the monotone, like, we are just giving you the information developer updates from other developers, like League of Legends, for example. They do their, what are they called? Riot Please or /dev or whatever.
They have a couple different ones.
And it's like, they have like developer blogs, but all of those feel so robotic, and Jeff Kaplan was always such a wonderful personality to interact with. And especially, I don't remember the Redditor's name, but there was the one Redditor who every time would make a meme video where he'd take clips, like splice together clips of Jeff saying certain words and syllables, and to make a complete shitpost video. I don't remember what they were called, but they were always hilarious. He will be missed.
Yeah, for
he was
sure.
one of the best.
I don't believe there's any word on what he is going to do. If like he's not leaving Blizzard, or at least we didn't hear that he's leaving Blizzard to go somewhere else and do something in particular. So it's all kind of up in the air. I imagine we will hear more from and about Jeff Kaplan in the coming year. I don't think he's retiring. He was at Blizzard for 19 years.
Wow.
So he's still got a lot of games, I think, left to make. So I'm curious to see, because he can be the face of a project. So I'm curious to see what he ends up wanting to do going forward. We'll have to keep an eye on Overwatch. But again, going back to the idea of like all the prominent veterans of Blizzard are leaving. Is Blizzard? I remember like early 2000s, Blizzard was the company. Everyone loved Blizzard. Everyone loved all the games Blizzard put out. Like, they could do no wrong. And I feel like at this point, everyone is so down in the dumps about Blizzard as a company and what they're doing. And
yeah, because of their second half.
Yeah, Activision. Yeah, ever since that happened, it's just like, it seems like it's been nothing but downhill. All of these people who work there are just like, yeah, I don't want any part of this anymore. It's not the same. And it seems to show. Unfortunately, like what was it? The Warcraft 2 remake? Was it Warcraft 2?
Warcraft 3. It
was Warcraft 3
remastered. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone hated it. They were like, "This was super rushed. No one cared about this." It seemed it was so bare bones and boring. So I don't know, man. We'll see what becomes of Blizzard as time goes on. I think the only big game they have on the horizon is Overwatch 2, right? We don't know about any other. Obviously, they're doing all their...
Because what they're doing now is just updating their current service games like Hearthstone and WoW.
Yeah.
Yeah, with they're releasing Burning Crusade Classic in the coming months, so
and
that's...
They don't really even need to do anything because they can just sit and reap the money from Call of Duty.
Yeah, they got that.
They got that.
They have Diablo 4 coming out. I think that's going to come out next year.
Sure.
I forgot about Diablo.
Yeah.
They say.
Yeah, we'll see how that ends up panning out. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on Jeff and Overwatch 2 and how this all shakes out. One other small piece of news that I accidentally skipped over. Discord. Remember how we were talking? I think this was
a couple weeks ago now.
Yeah, a lot of this week's news is going back to news from 2 to 3 weeks ago. Discord was in talks with a bunch of different people to be bought out. The most prominent one was Microsoft was going to buy them for $12 billion. Is that what it was going to be, or something like that?
$10 billion.
$10 billion.
$10 billion, I think, yeah.
Something ridiculous. Yes.
Discord has made the decision to end talks with Microsoft and all of the companies. They're going to stay independent for the foreseeable future, I believe they said.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go after an IPO, I believe, which is interesting. That'll be an interesting debut.
Yeah,
if it ever does come to fruition.
Yeah, you got to imagine they think they can make more than $10 billion in like, I don't know, whatever time frame in their minds.
They think they could be worth more than $10 billion. So
which is crazy.
I don't know what that is like share wise. I feel like that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Amount.
Will you buy Discord stocks when they go up?
Probably not. No.
No? Come on, you're our stocks guy. How's that GameStop stock doing?
You know, it's there. It exists.
I love it. So yeah, unfortunately, all those awesome things we talked about would happen if Microsoft acquired Discord is no longer a thing, which is a little sad, but hey, power to them for staying independent. It's impressive.
Yeah.
All right, last story. Knights of the Old Republic. Apparently, Jason Schreier, the man we happen to bring up every episode at least once, was teasing some things over the last several months and sending mixed messages like about KOTOR getting a remake. But recently, Jason was on, I think he was on someone's podcast.
Yeah, Min-Max.
Yeah. He was on the Min-Max show, and he kind of casually was like, yeah, Aspire Media is making a KOTOR remake. That's definitely happening. Like flat out said, yes, this is happening. So And Jason is rarely wrong. And like he would never go out and say like this game is in development if he didn't for 100% know for sure it was happening, you know? So like this has to be happening, which is crazy and cool and kind of exciting.
Yeah.
We all just are wrapping up our KOTOR journeys for the Backlog Power Hour. We're going to be talking about it after we do the 2010s episode, so in about 2 weeks from today, we will be doing our KOTOR episode. I feel like we could talk about this more then, but I would be excited to see a remake of this game.
Yeah,
I
did
do.
like a tad bit of digging because I was like, I wanted to know if it was really a remake or if it was just like an HD remaster or whatever. Because
Like
that's what
like
Aspire.
Episode 1 Racer.
Yeah, that's what Aspire like does normally. Like the only way I recognize that name is like they did like Mac ports for games and stuff like that. Like they're that kind of developer.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess last year, or no, not last year, 2 years ago, 2019, they hired like a pretty large group of ex-BioWare developers. So now I'm like a little more on the sense that they could actually be doing a full remake of the game, which would be cool to see.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. Very timely. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it too much because I feel like it's something we can get into.
Yeah, we can
better,
definitely touch on it a little
discussion.
more.
Yeah, I feel like we'd get too much into our KOTOR proper opinions, which I don't want to do quite yet. All right, that's it for news from us. We lost Adam.
And that's it from Adam.
Adam has died. Right before he cut out, his eyes were closed. I think his camera froze. His eyes were closed for like 30 seconds. I was like, did Adam just fall asleep on the podcast? But no, I think he was clearly just having technical issues. He's still trying to load back in. We will see what happens. But let's get started with what games we've been playing lately. Who wants to go first? Andrew, I'm going to make
Am I back? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. We just can't see you, but that's okay.
My camera's bugging out, so give it a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Sure.
Andrew, why don't you go first? What have you been playing lately?
I finished Assassin's Creed 3.
There you go, boy.
Oh, yes.
So you can expect Derek and I to talk about that game in the next couple of weeks.
What is your like initial like one word emotion? Yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah.
I don't even need a word.
That
face.
I have many thoughts.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to share them.
Cool.
But I finished that game. I don't know when I'm gonna start 4. Hopefully at some point, because there's a lot of games on the horizon. In a couple of weeks, we're gonna get next week Returnal. The week after that, Resident Evil. There's many to play. But other than that, we did finally begin the Halo campaigns.
We did it. We have started the Halo campaigns. What was that? Monday night?
Monday night. Yeah.
Derek
Monday
and Andrew
night,
were playing together, and Tikon and I were playing together. Tikon and I started 40 minutes before you guys. We were playing on Legendary, and within an hour, you guys lapped us and completed 2 more full missions than us.
Because we started on normal, and then we switched to heroic, which is the difficulty setting between that and Legendary.
Which I feel like playing normal. Obviously, Andrew was like, "All right, this is pretty easy."
Yeah,
this is requiring very minimal effort.
As a person who's never played Halo either. So.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember what levels are difficult and what levels aren't difficult. And I know that I think the 3rd level, Truth and Reconciliation, is very difficult on Legendary. It's one of the hardest Legendary levels.
Yeah, that's the one that we finished.
Yeah, that's what you guys were stuck on that one for quite a while. I think we finished 2 levels in the time period it took you to finish that level.
Yeah, that one was really rough.
But even heroic was feeling a lot easier than I remembered. It was. I mean, we definitely started dying more often, mainly just because I think we started we still weren't changing how we played between normal and heroic, but obviously with
definitely some carelessness to be had.
Yeah, I forgot how they send. It's not just that enemies hit harder; they send more enemies at you, and it
they
definitely
throw
does
more grenades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm definitely having fun with it though.
Yeah, how are you feeling so far?
I always knew I was going to enjoy it more than the multiplayer. My problem with playing the multiplayer with you guys is that you guys have been playing Halo for 20 years, So I am but a drop in the bucket compared to your skill. So it's not fun for me to play a first-person shooter where I think I'm doing okay, and then I just get ass blasted
Obliterated.
before I even have a chance to think about it. And it's like nothing about what we're doing is helping me learn. So this is a good way for me to learn. I feel that even after the end of this, the multiplayer still won't be fun just because of the clear skill gap. Like playing against AI isn't going to make me better at first-person shooters, and that's just the sad truth. But I've always loved co-op campaigns. And playing this, at least I'm learning about Halo lore and like lingo and everything. So that's fun for me.
So here's the thing, like Halo is not like Call of Duty or PUBG, where like if the other person sees you first, you're dead. There's like the time to kill in Halo is a lot longer than most other games, and it's more about like taking control of map points to like get power weapons and whatnot. It's very different than like traditional like Twitch-based shooters where okay, the faster, younger hands always win. Obviously, when like two people are staring each other down the barrel and like the person with the better aim is gonna win, but there's more to it, which is why I always loved it. I'm not the best aimer, but like you can play it more strategically than I feel like you can in Call of Duty, where it's just like, all right, run. If you see something, unload bullets in it. Did you kill him? Cool, keep doing it. Did you not? Okay, you're dead. Respawn and do it again. There's a lot more to Halo, and I think that once you understand the guns and just the gunplay and the movement, you may end up liking the multiplayer if we all like hopped in a match and played together.
Yeah.
If it's just normal multiplayer, but I feel like some of the
reindeer games,
the mini games that we play,
that's
facilitate being way. Well, that's what I'm talking about because that's what we do all the time.
Well, I would go in and just play regular multiplayer with you. I love it. I try to get that.
I'd be down to do that too.
I try to get that group of people to just play normal multiplayer, and they're like, "No, we want to play. We want to drive in circles on our mongoose."
Yeah, they want to shoot mongoose wraith things at people standing on a platform
through grav lifts, which to be fair is very fun.
Yeah,
it's super fun, but also sometimes I just want to play a good old game of. And that's the other thing, they have game modes like Capture the Flag, King of the Hill, Oddball. They have interesting game modes that you like. It's not always just Slayer, which is like their team deathmatch.
I think my favorite part of the Halo, at least the Master Chief Collection, is it embraces everything that is offered. So like I always love to go and play the Action Sack playlist, because that's where you get the like custom game modes that are fair and balanced in a way, and not like the crazy shit
ass thing someone made.
It's like someone thought of this cool idea to make an actual like playable game mode, and you can hop in a playlist and play all these different things. And like there's like I think they have like a gun game variant now.
Yeah, Andrew just told me there's a gun game in Halo, which I have to play because gun game was my favorite. I think it originated in Black Ops, the first Black Ops. Dude, I loved gun game, and knowing that that's in Halo, where it's all about the guns. Like imagine everyone starts with a plasma pistol, and then you get a Mauler, and then getting all the way up to like the Spartan laser being the last weapon. Oh my god, that sounds like so much fun to me.
Yeah, I don't know if we have any hardcore Counter-Strike fans, but I believe gun game originated in Counter-Strike.
Oh, did it?
Just so we don't get a little backlash for that comment.
I was never a Counter-Strike player. Sorry to all the gun game people out there. I first played it in Black Ops.
Yeah, that's like where it hit like the big time.
But yeah, I think there's so much to Halo, and that's why it's so incredible. Like you play Call of Duty, you play through the campaign once, then you play Team Deathmatch, and every once in a while you play Search and Destroy. That's all of Call of Duty.
Unless you're me and you play Hours of Zombies.
That's like a whole separate section. But yeah, like Halo has so many interesting game modes, and when they added Forge in Halo 3, it changed everything because you could create your own maps and fun game modes, and allows for the crazy shenanigans like Halo on Legendary, where you're driving around that obstacle course and one person has a sniper, or just like Predator, where there's an invisible guy with a Spartan laser just trying to kill you while you're all running away and hiding for your lives. Like, it's just so varied, and it can be so much fun.
I mean, right? Like the zombies originated like in Halo 2 as a custom game where like it was all like you had to, if you got killed by the zombie, you had to go to the menu, switch teams. Like it was this whole like, that's where it started. And then like people saw how popular it was, and they were like, all right, yeah, we'll put this in Halo 3.
Mhm.
And that's how like the zombie game modes kind of came about.
Yeah.
It's cool. That sounds really cool.
So I'm glad that you're liking it, and I'm excited once we get through the campaign to show you more of Halo than the silly things we've been doing.
I'm excited. It's definitely a development. Like I am still. We've done Derek and I have done half the campaign.
Yeah,
so,
I think Tigon and I have like a third.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how my opinion of it changes the more I play. I'm hoping I'll really enjoy it, but my big fear is that I'll still just be bad at first-person shooters, so I'll never truly enjoy the multiplayer.
Andrew, I am bad at first-person shooters, and I still love Halo. So
you're better than me.
Yeah, I think there's a big difference between being bad at online multiplayer and then like being bad. Like I feel like you probably could you're standing your ground in the campaign. Like I feel like if we did Legendary for Halo 2, it's not like it would be me carrying you the whole time or whatever. Or like if we played in ODST, if we played Firefight, like you'd still,
Like I said, though, AI is so different.
Right. It is true, but I don't think you can say you're bad at first-person shooters just because you're not good at online.
I'm worse than other people at first-person shooters.
I'm worse than other people at literally everything. So there's always someone better than you. That's just how it works. Anyways, what else have you been playing?
Binding of Isaac.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Adam, what do you got?
Well, aside from my camera absolutely glitching out, that I'm not going to try to fix it to take a break because it keeps messing up my audio when I try to reconnect the camera for some reason.
It makes you look like a cool AI saying really cool, important things.
Yes. Right. Getting closer to finishing Ori. I have all 4 parts of the Wisp. So that's, getting on that.
Cool.
Entering the last area on that. It's such a fun game.
Yeah.
So finishing that up because there's cool things coming out in the next few months that I'm going to be getting. So a little more World of Warcraft. Like I said, I'm back on the grind to try to get to 60 by the time Crusades come out.
Mm-hmm.
So they just, tack on a little bit each day. It's going to take forever, but other than that, I've kind of had a boring week. Semester's wrapping up, so I'm just getting some stuff done in work.
Gotcha. All right. Right on. Derek?
I just remembered we played Clash.
Oh, we did play Clash in League of Legends. I think that was our most successful, best Clash ever, even though we didn't win. We came in second place.
Oh, that's not good, though.
The first game, I died once in the first 2 games combined.
Me too.
Wow.
We slaughtered both of those games. They both surrendered. Like
we had 6
minutes?
6 team deaths total in the first 2 games.
Yeah,
combined.
That's impressive.
And we had successful drafts. That's where we made cohesive team compositions, which is something we've never done in Clash, and it was so much fun, and it paid off in game. And game 3 was close. They were clapping us a little bit early. We came back, and I forgot what happened. I think
we just made a stupid call.
Yeah,
we
it was around Dragon, right?
Oh no, I think it was up near Baron. We overstayed in a team fight and lost.
Yeah, and then
we didn't ban Viego. That was the other problem.
Yeah, but yeah, it was really fun.
We just had a bad read on that guy's champion pool, I suppose. But yeah, it's like you said, Jeff. We were the most cohesive as a unit. This is the best team play we've ever done. This is the best drafting we've ever done. And even though it didn't come through in the third game, we still played out of our minds. It was great.
I think the most important thing is we had someone who actually plays top lane as opposed to just throwing someone off role up there.
I mean, I actually, this whole time we've been saying, oh, we don't know anybody. It's like, me, I play top lane, but I hate it, and I'll fill other roles.
Yeah, no, Chris is a really good top laner. I think that was a big part of our success. So shout out to you, Chris, wherever you may be.
Yeah, he played with us the second day, too.
Oh yeah,
because we played the second day. The second day we went 1-1, and the third game the enemy forfeited, so we technically went 2-1.
But got you.
Yeah, the first game They kind of it was kind of close, but mostly it was a loss from the beginning. I think our draft was pretty bad in that. It's harder to convince other people on how to draft when they're higher ranked than you because they think they have such a better idea of the game, and it was very clear the difference playing between our first team and the second team in that they very much wanted to play for lane matchups, especially like our bot lane, and they were, not to throw shade, but it was a little bit of uncooperativeness during the draft phase, and then from there it was just downhill in the game. And in the second game, absolute murder, like even harder stomps than the first two.
Wow.
Not in terms of team play, because in the two games that we played, Jeff, we just outclassed them as a team. But in the reason that we stomped so hard in that game with the other team is because all of our lanes just won. So
Gotcha.
I was jungling again, so I didn't have to do anything that game, basically.
Gotta love it. Just take Gromp.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. All right, Derek, what have you been playing?
Playing more Bravely Default 2.
Cat?
Just been chugging along.
You in Wiswald still?
Yeah, I just beat Roddy. Got the red mage.
That's the one I was telling you about. Is really good for Elvis.
Yeah, I put it on him. I'm real excited to try it out.
Do you know what it does when you max it out? What it's
No,
second?
I didn't look at it yet. Is it real good?
You want me to tell you?
All right. Yeah, what is it?
Any spell you cast gets cast twice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's broken.
For the mana cost of just one.
Oh, and I just
so good.
I leveled him up all the way to 10 with Beast Master so I could get the MP Saver ability.
Smart.
So now all his stuff costs like a little less or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that was like my one thing I'm like struggling with, I think, is managing my MP better.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was doing it real good with what's her face, Gloria, and then I made her a bard, and then I started going too wild with like the bard spells, and I'd run out of MP and be like, shit, I need her to heal right now, and I don't have, like, I gotta get her with an ether or something. So, but yeah, I'm like locked in on the game. I'm liking this. I'm enjoying it. So I'm excited to play more.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that you're enjoying it so much, because I thought I was gonna be the only one who played it and was like, guys, Bravely Default is really good. And then,
I was
just like, I don't know.
I was iffy, but once I got through, like, basically once I started getting going and getting more jobs.
Once you get like 5 or 6 jobs, then you're like, the wheels start turning, and you're like, oh, yeah. I see some possibilities here. It gets really fun really fast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I have Adele as a Beastmaster monk, and she just destroys everything, like, immediately.
I think the Beastmaster ends up being one of the best classes because you can. Do you have that ability?
Not Beastmaster, Berserker.
Okay, I was gonna say Beastmaster is one of the ones where it scales infinitely. Like you have a move that does damage, or their stats are based on how many monsters you've captured, and like if you just put on that passive skill,
and you just just capture monsters passively. I thought about. I didn't go all the way up to that one. I should I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it.
You have to commit to it long term though, and I didn't even bother. So, but yeah, Berserker's awesome. My Seth had that. What's the move where you can attack every enemy, but your next turn comes a little slower? I had him use that as a Vanguard, and I would just one shot every small enemy with it, and it made just grinding so fast and easy. It's really awesome.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, so I'm liking that. And then what? I don't think I had 2 experiences this week that like just annoyed the hell out of me, and the initial experience made the second experience, which is the one I texted you guys about today, hurt even more.
Yeah.
But the first experience is unrelated to that game. So I was playing Destiny. And I finally decided that they added like a new dungeon this season, and it's like I've been just hearing rave things about it. Like it's really good, some of the best content in Destiny. So this week I decided like, all right, I'm gonna go in blind, like, and solo it and see if I can, like, because I've heard it's like pretty soloable. So I was like, I'm gonna do it, And so I don't know. It was a cool piece of content. It's like they definitely really like went into like the horror vibes of it, and you're like in this like spaceship, this derelict spaceship that's like nobody's on it, but like there's basically these scary enemies running around, and they kind of pop out of corners, and it was very, very, very well designed. The puzzles were very well done and like really enjoyable. And I got like to the final boss, and I was like, all right, figuring out the final boss mechanics, and I finally had it figured out. I was like, all right, I know what to do. I know when to do my damage. I know what to do damage with, and I got disconnected from the server, and I was so mad.
How long had you invested at that point?
I think I was like an hour and a half in of like and at that point I think I was like in the last damage phase.
Online games, baby.
Yeah, so I didn't check. I haven't checked yet, obviously, but I think it might save my checkpoint, so I might be able to load it up, and I might be back at the final boss. But I was a little like annoyed, like that's why I hate like, I love the online games, but I also hate that like sometimes that can happen, and you could have like I know there's people like out there that have invested times into doing more difficult and more like content than I have, and have felt that same error where they've gotten errored out. I know there was a period where there was like a glitch in one of the raids, and like flawlessly beating the raid was like a huge achievement. And if you did it, you got like a special emblem, and it was like you're one of hundreds of people that had out of thousands that had this emblem. And there was like a glitch where at the end of the last encounter, which is literally you just have to run back to this one point, the game would just sometimes disconnect you, and you would lose the entire run.
Oh,
and like it was like, and they couldn't figure out how to fix it. It was like one of those frustrating things. It was just like a weird. I think it ended up being like by the time you get to that point, there are so many like ammo drops and consumables on the like loaded into the server that it would overload the server. And so eventually I think they did fix it. But yeah, it's like silly things like that just like, you hate, you put in all that effort, and it's just like nothing. It's not like you died or anything. It's the game decided to stop working.
Yeah, there's literally nothing you can do about it. It's just like a middle finger from God, and just like, sucks to suck.
It's annoying. So yeah, I put it down. I was like, I'll revisit this later because I still want to do it. But I ended up picking up it as my kind of like game to play. I started Resident Evil 2 remake.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. That's a great game.
Yeah, it is really good. Yeah. I am realizing that I really, really like this style of game.
Like resource-based horror games?
No, the like puzzle-based exploration of it.
Okay.
Like I like that I'm running around this one location and like finding different things that open up different corridors.
So you like Metroidvania?
Outer Wilds.
I don't know if Metroidvania is like the right
Outer Wilds
choice. Yeah, like more like Outer Wilds. Yeah. In the sense that like it's a puzzle and you have to figure it out. Metroidvania is just like you're exploring and so you get like abilities or whatever. But
puzzle boxes, basically. Well, the game is just one big puzzle box.
Kind of, yeah. I think
so. All right. Once we're all vaccinated, we have to do an escape room.
Dude, Gio, we'll get a GoPro. We'll record it. We'll put it up on the channel.
I like
real life, real world video games. I've never done one. I've always wanted to do an escape room.
I did one 5 years ago and haven't gone to do another one since.
Everyone's like, Jeff, you've never done one of those? You would love it. I'm like, I know. No one's invited me.
So let's fix that. Let's go ourselves.
All right, we'll go once we're all vaccinated.
We'll have to do one.
Jeff and I have our first vaccination doses, so we're on the way.
We're doing it.
Getting mine on Saturday.
All right.
So
Resident Evil 2.
Anyway, Resident Evil.
I finally got to the part where Mr. X starts following you around.
Yeah.
And it definitely elevates that style of gameplay because you're like running around like, I just got to get to the room with the thing in it so I can put the thing in it, but this guy's just following me. And It's definitely, I played for like 4 hours last night, and the whole time I was like, oh, where's he gonna show up? Where's he gonna show up? Because I thought he just followed you, so I was like, okay, I can kind of predict where he's gonna be. Like he's gonna be where I just was, but no, he'll take different routes to get to like where you are. So like sometimes, he'll just like show up, and you're like, oh fuck, I thought he was gonna be behind me. Why is he in front of me?
Yeah.
And I started noticing, I was like, oh, some of the rooms are specifically designed so you can like go around him, and some areas obviously aren't, and they're like dead ends. And if you get stuck in one of those dead ends, like you got to figure out a way to get past him. I'm really liking it. I'm definitely gonna play a lot more of it. I don't know if is there like, are you supposed to do the campaigns in a certain order?
Not in a certain order, but in order to get
Obviously,
the ending, you have to do both.
Right, you have to do both. Yeah, so I started with Leon's. I'm really liking it.
Apparently, Lady Dimitrescu.
Dimitris?
Dimitris, is that how it's pronounced?
Pretty sure.
Lady Dimitris has a similar thing to Mr. X / what's the one in Resident Evil 3?
Nemesis.
Apparently they're bringing that back, and it happens
Jack
in 7
Baker.
too. Yeah, Jack Baker. in
Yeah,
Resident
Jack
Evil 7
Baker.
too. It's
I feel like
it's a Resident Evil staple at this point.
Yeah, I feel like in 7, Jack Baker is definitely the first because he's very easy to evade and get rid of, and like sometimes you'll lose him once and then you won't see him again
Until the cutscene where he pops out of a wall or something.
Right, or like till you face him as a boss or something.
Yeah.
Whereas Mr. X is definitely, he's always there, and there's nothing you can do to him.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't want to talk too much about it because you said you just started interacting with him.
Yeah, I
Okay.
I had like the first like interaction where he like pulls the guy through the wall, and I was like, oh shit. And then he didn't show up for a little bit, and then I like randomly went down a corridor and he just like burst through, and I was like, oh fuck, this is it. Now I'm at that part of the game.
Some shit happens. I'm looking forward to hearing your reaction. All right, anything else from you?
No, I think that's it.
All right, I got a couple interesting ones.
let's hear
So I played a little more Persona 5 Strikers. That's going to be my Saturday or Sunday morning game. Play for a couple hours, play over a very long period of time. So not much to report on that. I'll probably, if I ever have anything to add, I'll bring it up. But going forward, assume that I played a couple hours of Persona 5 Strikers.
Did you meet the guy yet?
He's sitting at the bar? Is it the guy who was sitting at the bar talking to Sojiro at one point?
Yes, the dude with
Okay.
the long hair.
Yeah, I haven't personally interacted with him, but he was there. He was at the counter talking to Sojiro as I was
Get ready.
leaving.
That guy is incredible.
I committed to the longing. Remember last week during the episode, I bought the longing, and so I played it. That game is very interesting. It's a very cool premise, and I'm probably never going to pick it up again. So
Until 400 days from now.
I set a timer in my phone for 400 days to just to pick it up and see what happens.
Yeah.
I spent the thing is, the Shade walks around so slowly and meticulously, and like it's just so boring, and it's intentionally so, which is interesting. But I think it's best. Apparently, it was released on Steam last year, so it's not even a new game. I didn't know that.
2019, I think.
Was it 2019?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not even a new game?
So yeah, I think I wouldn't have bought it if I knew that it wasn't a 2021 game. Anyways, it is on Steam, and this is definitely like Loop Hero, a second monitor game, because you can click somewhere and he'll walk there, and it could take him like 30 seconds to walk across the screen. And then you like click to tell him to go somewhere else. So it's just like so much in between time where if you're just sitting on your Switch like dedicated, like this is what I'm doing, it's painful. But as a second monitor game, or Alice and I were watching New Girl, and I had it on the side, and like every once in a while I'd look over, he's like, oh, he made it to that place. Click to go somewhere else. It's very interesting though. The things he's dealing with being lonely, but like also not having a lot of emotions. It's interesting in that regard. I walked down an endless hallway for about 20 minutes. It's definitely
definitively endless.
It's definitively endless. People have spent hours and hours walking down it, and developers are like, there is no end to this hallway. It goes forever. It's like some hallway of eternity or something like that.
Did you have to backtrack?
Yes, you have to walk back the entire way. So
walk down the hallway for 200 days and walk the other way for 200 more
so
days.
it's a place to like get random like Oh, my shot arm. Ow. It's a good place to get random resources like paper, which you can use to like make drawings to put up on your walls, or you can find books for the guy to read. Like the entirety of Moby Dick is in this game. Like you can just read Moby Dick in this game. And the thing is, you can manipulate the time. So time passes faster if you're reading. Time passes faster for each painting you put up on the wall. So actually, I need to take those paintings down because otherwise my 400-day thing will be far off.
Well, if it's set after 400 days, then definitively you'll get there.
But what if he misses it and has
Yeah.
to wait another 400 days?
It only happens on the one day?
I don't know. There is a timer
shit.
counting down. And it says wake up your master in 400 days. And there's a button that says wake him up now. I don't know what happens if I click it. I didn't do it. I'm too scared. I don't want to wake him up too early.
Interesting.
It's like-
it's such a cool concept.
Right? But I just don't want to play it.
Yeah. I'm wondering even how this would have worked if it was a 2021 game. Like we wouldn't have been able to know
You can.
like how it ends. Can you?
Yeah, because you can speed things up. Just read
But
books
I mean,
or put up paintings.
but by how much? Is
like-
my question.
I think each painting I put up like doubled time. So
Oh,
like,
doubles? That's
well,
wild.
I probably like as a second. So like every second would be 2 seconds. I think when I had 3 up, every second was 3 seconds.
Okay.
Something like that. So there are ways to significantly cut it.
So yeah, I guess then it is doable.
Yeah,
Because that would have been very interesting to have a game come out and like try and consider it for
game of the year when
game
you
of the
can't
year
beat
stuff. But it's like you can't fully experience it until the next year. It's like how does that work?
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So I don't know. It's an interesting, cool concept. It's a fun, weird indie game, but I'll probably never pick it up again, except for in 400 days. I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
The other thing that I did is I bought and played Monster Hunter Rise.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Okay. Monster Hunter Rise. That game is so incredibly overwhelming.
Yeah.
There is so much in that game. So many weird small mechanics that like all add up to being very important. And I feel like it assumes you, for the most part, are like aware of Monster Hunter. I don't think there's a good starting off point in Monster Hunter, period. Like all these Monster Hunter fans are like, this is the game to get started in. There is no game to get started.
Yeah.
You just have to fucking
You
bang
have to have already been there.
you have to bang your head against the wall until you understand. I've done a couple missions, and I went into the training room and played around with a bunch of the weapons. And so far, I don't enjoy it. I don't think any of the weapons feel good, but apparently the whole point of the game is it's slow and like you commit to animations, and you're supposed to know your animations and know like, okay, the hammer player, when they hit the button, it takes 2 seconds for them to swing the hammer, but when they do, they're gonna do a crap load of damage. Or I don't know, man. It's just I don't know. It feels slow and clunky. I don't like the way the combat plays, and it very much just seems like it starts. There's a cutscene. All right, you're a hunter now. You're in this hub town. Go accept a quest. You accept a quest. All right, go to this like island, and you don't travel or anything. You say, okay, we're going on the quest, and then you're on this island, and then you do the thing, and then you go back to the hub world, and then you talk to the armor guy, and he upgrades your armor if you have the right resources, and then you accept the next quest, and then you go back out, and it's that over and over. I don't know how many like different areas there are. But I'm going to be talking. I haven't done any multiplayer. There's like a set of twins. One twin gives you all the single player missions. One twin gives you all the multiplayer online missions. I'm not playing with anyone currently. I could talk to Dante. He got it. And I don't know if playing it with other people is going to make it more fun. But from what I've played so far, that gameplay loop doesn't seem interesting to me. It's what I don't like in video games. It's why I don't like have no interest in playing World of Warcraft, where it's like it's just this grind loop of do this like boring repetitive thing to get resource, to get a little bit stronger, to start a new boring repetitive loop that you have to do a couple times to get more resource. And like it doesn't seem like it's leading to anything. It's like seems like that is the game.
Have you fought any like big monsters yet?
Not Yeah. No.
Yeah, so because that's the game is fighting
It's
the
like hunting
big
the big
monsters.
monsters. Yeah, so like I learned in one of the 100 tutorials I did where it's like, oh yeah, you have to track them and then go find them and then fight them, and it's like fights can be up to a half hour long, and
Yeah.
it's just like, do I want to do that?
Well, and I guess that's where at least like what I got out of it when I played World
Mhm.
was like it's like you just doing a big boss fight every single time. So it's like, you go in and you like, all right, I got to go find the monster, and then you like the first time you fight against it, like you don't know what it's gonna do, but like obviously repeat attempts, you start knowing, okay, this is its move set, like this is its weaknesses. Here's how I open opportunities, and that's I definitely get the vibe. Like it is, if it's not your type of game, it is not a fun game in any way because it
No.
is very very slow. It took me a while to find like the weapon that I liked using because I like hated how slow some of the weapons were. Like I ended up using the longs. I think it was the longsword.
Okay.
Which is basically like this like combo based, like you just do combos over and over again, and it like gets more. If you complete a combo, it like gets stronger, and the
Mhm.
next time you do it, it gets even stronger and stronger until you can unleash this giant combo. But it's like also like once you start your combo, you have to like do it and open. You have to create openings to then do your combo, or else you're gonna like get hit and gonna have to start over or whatever. So it definitely, I can see it being more fun in multiplayer, especially with Dante, because he kind of knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
because he can kind of teach you like, hey, all right, yeah, so we're gonna do this to try to get this monster to like do this certain thing, and then we'll attack it while it's doing that, and like I'll do this and then you can do this. And
Yeah, I imagine it's similar to trying to play League of Legends for the first time in 2021 without having someone to guide you on what to do.
yeah,
You're probably like, this is fucking terrible. I'm never going to want to play this again. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to do like a couple more of the single missions, and then I'll hit up Dante and say, hey, please play this with me for a little bit and like
yeah.
help me try to understand why everybody loves it. I think after trying a bunch of the weapons out, I'm settling on the bow as my
Okay.
weapon. I don't know. I didn't like any of the melee weapons. They didn't feel good. I was like, oh, maybe I'll be a spear user. But the whole gimmick of the spear is it also comes with a shield, and like you just stand still and stab, and then like you're supposed to be able to tank hits really well. And I'm like, well, that's not fun. And then the dual daggers is just like, the thing is that it wants to feel like a Muso game, but it's definitely not. All of your button presses like need to be perfectly timed, but it
Right. Yeah.
like you almost like the game presents itself as like the type of game where you would just button mash, but it's not that at all. And it's all about like learning specific combos, and you can't. There's no way of learning those until you go into the training mode, and like you have to go to like a very specific spot to unlock the training mode. So I was trying to fast travel to it, and it was grayed out, and I'm like, why is this grayed out? I just hadn't been there yet. But once you're in the training mode, it will list all the combos on the side and whatnot. And the first weapon I picked was the insect glaive, not knowing that that is one of like the most complicated weapons in the
Yeah, the
game.
insect glaive is super complicated. I never even figured it out, I don't think.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna stick to the bow. It seems pretty simple, and I can kind of hang back and let, like, if I play with Dante, let him do a lot of the work.
Right. Yeah, I think the bow is, I think, one of like the best, or like the range weapons are one of the best, because you can sit back a little bit. You don't have to worry too much about getting hit by their moves. Like you have more time. Like if you see an attack coming, it's like, okay, I have time to evade this and like reposition myself. Whereas like, yeah, if you're the shield, like the shield guy or the spear guy, you're just taking hits, or like the daggers, like you have to do your combo and then like try to get away before it hits you with an
dodge
attack.
roll away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Initial thoughts, I'm not enjoying it, but I'm definitely gonna give it more time because I feel like so many people do enjoy it. There's got to be something that I'm just not getting yet. And I spent $70 on it, so I want to see if I can find something.
$70?
Yeah, or no, I think it was 60.
Yeah, 60s are going right now.
But plus
for
taxes. So yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll give you guys updates as I play a little bit more. But yeah, that is it for me. So I think we're at a good place to take a break, and then when we come back, we will talk about the top games of the 2000s.
What?
We will be right back. Okay, we have returned from our break.
My camera works.
Adam is back visually. He's beautiful.
He's no
Turns
longer an
out-
AI.
Turns out all he had to do was unplug it and plug it back in.
Who fucking knew?
Tried and true.
All right, here we are. Part 3 of our 4-part series talking about the greatest game of the 2000s. You guys happy? I said the 2000s.
Thank you,
All right.
Jeff.
The entire century, or
Yeah. These are the top 10 games between the year 2000 and 2009. I guess you guys ready to just get right into it again?
Yeah.
Ryan,
Do we
what
have
is-
any? Do we have any three-way ties this time, Jeff?
This is an aggregate list between myself, Derek, Andrew, T-Con, Adam, and Jose. So you have 6 full lists here, collaborated together to make one cohesive Game Sharks top 10 list.
I'm guessing there's going to be not as much overlap on these because we're getting to the time where there's just more games to pick from.
Every decade
Yeah.
we go further, there's less and less overlap for sure.
There's so many better games.
I think it might come back around in the 2010s.
I think the next generation
Maybe.
will make a big difference.
We'll see. All right. Honorable mentions at number 11. All of these got 10 points. It is Andrew, Derek, and Jose's number 1 game. Okami, Uncharted 2, and Ninja Gaiden Black. So not officially on the list, but not a single other person had any of these games on their list.
Yeah.
Therefore, only got 10 points. Therefore, at the bottom.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Sorry, guys. I haven't played any of these games.
Wait to hear of all the worst games that are in the top 10.
If Sonic Adventure 2 gets on this list,
I will. This list is actually pretty incredible. I really like this.
Oh,
really?
It might be.
okay.
Our,
I mean, Sonic Adventure 2 is not on it.
this might be our best list out of the. Hang on, let me look back at the
All right,
80s.
Like in terms of relevance to general consensus.
Yes, / like games I like. I don't know. 90s. I like the 90s list a lot too. Anyways, all right. So those are
Bias much, Jeff?
number 11's honorable mentions. Number 10, also with 10 points, but on more than one person's list.
Oh.
I took the liberty of combining 2 things into one here. Rock Band / Guitar Hero.
Oh, okay.
As our number 10. Andrew had Rock Band 2 on his list at his number 5. And I had Guitar Hero 3 on my list at number 7. And I feel
That's
like
a fair combination, I think.
I thought so too, because it's like
Basically the same thing.
they're all of these games are basically the same. The only difference is between Guitar Hero and Rock Band. There's more instruments, but like it's just the same thing with just different songs each time. So yeah, I took the liberty of putting those together.
Guitar Hero 3 is the best Guitar Hero, and Rock Band 2 is the best Rock Band.
Yes.
I would disagree.
I know.
But-
I've only played Rock Band.
What do you think is the best?
I think Rock Band 3 is
Okay.
the best Rock Band, and I think
Actually,
Guitar Hero
I have played a lot of Rock Band 3.
7,
What?
6.
What?
Guitar Hero 6 is the
They
best Guitar
made
Hero.
that many?
I thought there was only 3 Guitar Heroes.
No, because
they're-
after 3 they did like World
they did-
Tour,
they
which
did
had
the
the band
Beatles.
stuff.
Yeah, if you count World Tour as 4, Guitar Hero 5 is 5. You disregard Guitar Hero Metallica,
Aerosmith.
Guitar Hero Aerosmith, and Guitar Hero Smash Hits.
And
Then
Beatles.
Guitar Hero 6 would be the Warriors of Rock, and that one, if you're a Guitar Hero fan of just the guitar, is probably the best one because
Jesus
it's
Christ.
really, really good. It was my favorite one out of all of them.
Actually, the best Guitar Hero is Clone Hero.
That's true as well.
I didn't even know there were that. I honestly thought Guitar Hero stopped after 3.
I knew there were a lot. I just didn't know that they had
There
when you said
were a
6, I thought you meant it was titled Guitar Hero 6. But Guitar Hero 3 has My Name is Jonas in it.
My name is Joe. It has Through the Fire and the Flames, which, like, come on, that is the.
Everyone knows that song.
I
because
fell in
of
love with
Guitar Hero
Dragon
3.
Force because of Guitar Hero 3.
Dude, that's why Guitar Hero and Rock Band are so great, is because it opened up my music tastes like floodgates, right? Like I know so much music purely because of that. I got into Rise Against because of Guitar Hero, one of my favorite bands.
I got into Paramore because of Guitar
into-
Hero.
What Paramore song is in Guitar Hero?
The Misery Business.
Misery Business?
I think is
It's
in
in
Guitar
Rock.
Hero
That's in
3.
Rock Band 3.
It's in Guitar Hero 3.
No,
No, it's not.
Not in Guitar Hero 3.
It's not in Guitar Hero 3.
Are you sure?
Maybe it was DLC.
Maybe. I never played any of the Guitar Hero DLC.
Pretty sure that Paramore is not in Guitar Hero 3. I think it's in Guitar Hero 4, Jeff.
I'm looking up the soundtrack.
But I got into Foo Fighters because of my mom, but because of Rock Band. Like, there's so many good songs and bands in there, you know. There's a lot of like DLC.
Knights of Sidonia. Oh,
Knights of Sidonia, the classic.
Yeah.
Was it in Guitar Hero 2 then? I remember playing a Paramore song in Guitar Hero.
The Guitar Hero 3 track list is iconic, though.
It's so good. That's why I had it on mine, because I thought it was the best collection.
Yeah.
Also, can we just acknowledge that the Butthole Surfers is the greatest band name of all time?
That's a real band.
Yeah. I know. And it's the greatest band name of all time. I have no idea what game they were.
It was on 4, I think. World Tour.
Wait. Was it on 4? I didn't play 4.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Rock Band 1 is pretty good too.
Was it a DLC song?
Maybe it was a DLC song.
Artist. No,
one of my
FCP remix. Yeah, follow.
Yeah.
The reason I put Rock Band 2 is because I always enjoyed Rock Band's tracking compared to Guitar Hero, and one of my fondest memories is us playing Rock Band at Christmas parties, and I distinctly remember Matt singing Chop Suey.
Do you remember my dad singing Pinball Wizard?
Kind of.
That was great.
I want to get together and just like play Rock Band with people. You know?
I'll do it.
My grandmother sang
I have to get the
"In Bloom" by Nirvana. It was crazy. She knew all the words. Yeah. I was very surprised.
It's almost like a full band karaoke.
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like that'd be super fun.
Every once in a while, it's like every 4 to 5 months, I'm like, man, I wish I could play Guitar Hero for an hour right now, but I don't have any of the peripherals anymore. And it, like, I don't know how to, like, can I get
You can't.
them? No?
They're really hard to get.
They're expensive. Mine broke, and I wanted to replace it. It's like hundreds of dollars.
Really? I have the Wii one, but I guess I could dig out my Wii U, get the Wii guitar from my parents' house, charge a Wii remote, or put batteries in it, plug that in, play some.
And then
think he still
try to find a copy.
I think I still have Guitar Hero 3.
All 3 Rock Band for the Wii.
I don't know. We'll see. I might have to make that happen because, like, fuck, I love Guitar Hero. All right, moving on to number 9. Number 9, we had on 2 people's lists in the same exact slot. 10 points again. Resident Evil 4. Both Derek and mine's number 6 game.
Solid.
I think it's interesting you put this on here, considering you only played it for the first time in the last few months.
It was close to being on mine.
Yeah.
Probably like
think,
11, 12 range.
I understand. It's been like in my life since it came out, I guess. Like, I have always heard about Resident Evil 4, so I know it's, you know, I've always known it's a great game, and then I played it for the first time, and I really liked it.
Mm-hmm. So part of it is your love for it. Part of it is realizing how iconic and important it was for the 2000s. Yeah. I respect that. Yeah, we all just played it. It's a really solid game. They're making a VR version today. It's one of those games that, like, it's like Skyrim level where, like, it will appear on every platform forever going forward. It is just that big of a game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It took over the world. It is the key piece of the Resident Evil franchise that everyone goes back to and references.
Yeah.
I don't know. We talked a lot about it. If you want to hear us talk more about Resident Evil 4, you can go listen to that episode.
There's like an hour and a half of content on that.
Yeah. So I guess we'll move right on to number 8. Number 8, the last game that had 10 points.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of 10 points here. This was number 2 on Adam's list and number 10 on Derek's. We have BioShock.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
This is another game.
BioShock, I only played it for the first time recently, but Derek's played it before, so I'll let him go first. Like, why is it on yours?
I think it's an iconic game of the 2000s, and it was like one of those first like story driven FPSs, right? Like, it kind of it changed the landscape a little bit when it came out. Yeah, it was a big deal. Like everybody I knew was playing BioShock. Everyone was talking about it. I would go over to my friend's house and we'd play BioShock. A lot of the games that were on my list were like games that, because I didn't have a 360 for like most of or a PS3 for like most of the generation. Like I got a PS3 in 2009. And late 2009. So every game, like all the games I played for in that generation, I played at the end of our time period. But yeah, like, so a lot of my experience is like secondhand and just like hearing about people talking about these games, hearing my friends talk about the games, like, oh, I'm gonna go on and play BioShock tonight. Like, are you gonna hop on live and we can like talk while we play the game together? Like, yeah. So I think it's a classic that, along with like RE4, deserves like to be remembered,
Definitely there. And like, it's also one of the earlier games I've found that has like a slight morality system to it. Because when you have to, when you kill the big daddies and have to get to the little sisters, you have the choice of, do you kill her for more of the resource, or do you spare her but get less of the resource, but maybe some rewards for it later?
Right, yeah.
And you do get different endings. So this is even one of the earlier games that give you the choice of, having alternate endings depending on how you're playing it.
Choose your words carefully, because this is in our hat technically.
Yes, we are.
Is it?
And that's the other thing.
Like to play this.
Yeah, Andrew and I haven't played it, and like from everything I've heard from it, it's like a game that I think I would love.
You would honestly love it.
And it's like, that's the problem as we go further into these decades. There's just so many games I haven't played. It's hard to play every game,
Exactly.
Yeah, like, this made it onto my list because I played it I loved playing it so much. Now that I finally had a desktop that could do it, and then I immediately started playing 2, and then I went on to Infinite. So like, this definitely had to make it onto mine.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
good game.
eventually getting to play it. All right. I guess we will move on to our number 7. Our number 7 game coming in with 11 points is Portal.
Gotta put
Nice.
Portal on there.
Portal was T-Con's number 6 and Adam's number 5. Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah, another one of those games I didn't get to till a little more recently, but it's just, how can you not put Portal somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised none of you guys put it on there.
Because Portal 2 is
think
better.
it pales in comparison to Portal 2.
That's fair.
Portal is a proof of concept. Portal 2 is one of the greatest video games of all time, and I fully expect to see it next week. Spoilers.
I think people retroactively like Portal 1 more because of how good Portal 2 is.
I don't know if that's true, because I remember obsessing with Portal before Portal 2 was even a thought. Like, it didn't exist yet, and like Dan.
I mean,
Santos
but
and
it
I
is
used to
like
play
you.
a bunch of
It is like you said, though. It's a proof of concept, and sure, the mechanics are still great. It's the same with the portals, but Portal 2 just adds so much.
Yeah.
And I think that like Portal 1 is relatively short in comparison. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like 4 hours.
So it's very much just like a cool little sandboxy Portal puzzle game, whereas Portal 2 feels more like a full experience.
Yeah, it wasn't even like its own release. It was bundled in with the Orange Box, which the highlights was that it was, Half-Life 2 episode, or no, was Half-Life 2
Half-Life 2, it was
Half-Life 2 episode 1, episode 2, Team Fortress 2, and then like this little guy Portal, and like people were like, hey, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. People didn't buy the Orange Box for Portal initially. They bought it for Half-Life, and I'm sure there's some people who bought it for TF2, but...
And then you find that hidden gem, because I think I mentioned it before in another episode. I forget which one it was, but it does this really cool thing of, oh, sweet, this is a puzzle game. And then you start seeing like the writing in the walls and the cake is a lie. Like holy shit, does this have a story? So it does that really amazing thing of transitioning from one genre into another. And then, you guys are right. Portal 2 is even better, but I still put this on mine because it starts it off.
Yeah, I'm not upset that it's there.
Yeah. I knew someone was going to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised T-Con had it. I've never really talked to him about Portal before. I didn't know he was a fan of it. Number 6. Number 6 coming in with 12 points.
Oh, baby.
There's going to be
moving up in the
a huge difference for like 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, there's a pretty big gap. Actually, the big gap kind of happens after the next one. So, coming in with 12 points, we have Metroid Prime. Metroid,
Wow, only 12?
Metroid Prime was my
I
number
forgot to
8.
I forgot to put it on my list.
What do you mean you forgot?
There were a lot of games to put on these lists, man. We only
How
have
many
10.
times do I have to tell you guys to do the fucking work and go through the games? Because you're gonna forget about shit.
It was
Clearly.
my number 8 and Andrew's number 2.
Jesus Christ, come on.
It wasn't on Derek's list, not on T-Con, not on Jose, and Adam apparently forgot about it.
Oh my
Can I
god.
get an honorable mention?
Adam,
Can I
where
go
would it be on your list?
fairly high up if I remembered about it?
God damn it.
I
buddy.
mean, it's still number 6, which is like that's decently
Pretty good.
high on this
Yeah.
list.
Should be higher, Jeff.
I think my personal
Yeah, but
preferences, I think it's placed well, but
is it Metroid Prime 2 better? And is
No.
it Metroid Prime
No,
3
it's,
even
better.
It's
better?
not.
no,
No.
isn't Metroid
Not-
Prime the
Not
best
by
one?
any stretch of the imagination.
Honestly, the first one was the best one.
The first one was so good.
3 was my favorite.
Really? I never
Yeah.
finished 3.
Three was-
I
three
really
was
what I
like
played.
3.
Like 2 ruined it by having an ammo system for the beam,
Oh, I forgot it did that. Oh.
which is just annoying because you just want to spam it.
Hmm. Andrew, this was your number 2 game, so talk about
Yeah.
it for a bit.
I mean, it's just like you want to talk about Ocarina of Time perfectly capturing the transition of 2D to 3D. Metroid Prime did
Yeah.
that even better. And like it not only does it take the Metroid gameplay, it takes the Metroid atmosphere into 3D,
Mhm.
which is so like the world. Like this might have the best world design of all time in a video game, right? Like the feeling of isolation, like the way that Samus's like combat works in 3D and first person, even the effects with it, like how they have the fog and the visor and everything. It's just such a like encapsulating game. And the scanning visor was really cool because it takes what you had to do on your own and kind of taking in information from the environment and turns it into a mechanic that actually has nuggets of lore, which is really cool. The powers are fun. The world, like the music is incredible. The areas are unique. It's such a fucking good game, man.
I remember the best feeling of that was there was even stuff you could stumble upon that you didn't realize was important until later. Like I found 2 of the keys you need for the opening the final boss, like randomly when I was exploring the world. I'm like, what are these?
The only bad part about that game, by the way, is the key thing.
Yeah,
Thing
because
with the keys.
you got to go find them all and scattered throughout the world later.
Yep.
But I had found 2 of them randomly. I'm like, okay, what are these? And later on, it's like, oh, okay, I've already got 2 of these. Cool. But yeah, Andrew totally hits the nail on the head with this one. Just perfect world building. It's just all so seamless. It nails the atmosphere perfectly. And honestly, Metroid works as a third-person shooter. It really does.
There's a reason they're making a 4th one eventually.
Eventually.
Please make it good.
Technically, they are making it. Yeah.
They just weren't happy with it. So
All right, moving on to number 5, coming in with 18 points, so a 5-point jump from Metroid Prime, which apparently was criminally underrated by Adam accidentally. We have Super Mario Galaxy. Derek's number 4, Andrew's number 8, Adam's number 3, and I believe that's it. So all right, boys, you 3 have Super Mario Galaxy on your lists. Why?
Because it's an incredible 3D platformer.
it
Yeah.
really is. Yeah.
I think arguably it could be. Odyssey's really good, but like
Odyssey,
before Odyssey,
I think Odyssey is probably my favorite of the 3D Mario games.
before Odyssey came around, though, Super Mario Galaxy was like top notch,
Okay.
like the best 3D platformer around. It's
Yeah,
it's the only 3D Mario game that I look back super fondly on. Like I didn't for Sunshine or 64.
Like I think part of the reason for that is that it actually takes 3D and it really does mean 3D. Like here's a spherical planet, now walk all around it. Like you can't do that.
The gravity mechanics in that game are so good. They're so well done.
Like it definitely takes 3D to a level that you just can't see in other things because of that mechanic. Like they took their theme and they just hit it out of the park with the gravity.
One of the things I was thinking about when I put on was you don't move the camera in that game, right?
Oh yeah,
Like
you don't. But it's pretty
For-
good.
Well, yeah, because for the most part, a lot of the levels are like have a start and a finish.
like how many 3D games in like the later generation can you think about that like don't allow the player to move the camera, and like they just nailed that level design so perfectly that no matter where you move, the camera's in a good spot, and
You
that's
see
just like
exactly what you need to.
yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about.
But yeah, I think it goes back to what you said. Like, it's not like Odyssey where there's like 50 things you collect in the sandbox area. Like every level you go into has a set thing you're doing.
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily need to give you the free roaming camera, but you're right, they do nail it. So you never, honestly, I forgot that you can't because it never came up as a problem where I was wishing I
it's just
could move the camera.
Not even
Right.
something I was conscious of.
Like and like I don't know, it's like how accessible that makes the game. Like just watching like my girlfriend Kayla try to play Mario Odyssey, and like the most difficulty she has is having to move the camera around.
Yeah.
Whereas like she has no problem playing any of the 2D Marios because there's only one, like, you know, there's no camera to move. And then I was like thinking about Odyssey and it's like, wait, yeah, it's just you don't have to worry. It's just it does everything for you. It's all about the movement. It's all about the platforming. You don't have to think about like what your view of Mario is. You just have to think about moving Mario.
Yeah, dual stick controls have become such a crutch and such a like second nature mechanic in video games at this point that I never ever think about it as like a barrier to entry for games. But that makes so much sense,
Right.
and that is another reason why Mario Galaxy is such an approachable game and so well renowned, is because of its accessibility.
And you can be a bee.
And
there's that. And honestly, I think Galaxy had some of my favorite level designs in a Mario game, just because like with every individual galaxy, it just gave them like just so many opportunities to make really creative levels. Like one of my favorites is the Toy Time Galaxy, where everything's like a giant toy box.
Yeah, it does what Mario 64 did, but better and in more quantity. Because like it takes the concept for a world, right, and then iterates on that a few times, and each of those levels feel unique, right? It's like a unique thing, and there's like almost twice as many worlds, if not more, than in Super Mario 64.
Yeah, like they get to do this awesome thing where like, yeah, we can have a bunch of different water worlds, but each one's gonna have their own little gimmick, like something unique about it. Like, oh, this doesn't fit into this one. Let's just go make another galaxy.
Yeah,
so it really opens up like all the level design you could ever want.
I think it helps it too. It makes each level, each like star in the level feel more unique, because it's not like, okay, every level's got to collect 6 coins. Every level's got to like, you know, race this guy. Like I feel like the
100 coin star.
Yeah, like the fact that there's just 3 stars per. Is it always 3? Is there sometimes 4? I think it's always 3.
It's 3 base, and there's also like the challenge levels you can do, like from the
right.
And sometimes there's a hidden star, so like 3 to 4 at base, and then a few extras.
Yeah, but it like helps keeps the levels like fresh. Like you're not doing the same. It kind of like Odyssey, where like there's collecting. There's more to do besides just like, all right, yeah, I gotta collect 6 coins. I gotta collect 6 coins. I gotta collect 6 coins. You know, it's more unique, I guess.
Yeah.
Right on. All right. Well, I guess we'll move on.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. I'm very happy with this list so far.
Yeah, it's not a bad list. So going forward, these last 4 games match my 4, 3, 2, and 1 exactly.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of interesting how this played out. So number 4 with 19 points, Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Heck yeah.
Melee was my 4. It was Andrew's 4. It was Jose's. Jose had both Melee and Brawl as his number 8, so obviously I just took the points and threw it towards Melee. And then Adam had his Melee as his number 9. So, Super Smash Brothers Melee, man.
I'm just gonna say mine is on there purely for the nostalgia purposes of us 3 playing it.
Yeah,
like so often before Brawl came out.
Yeah,
it is on there purely for nostalgia.
I mean, Melee is still played competitively to this day.
The meta is still developing.
Yeah, like there's this new player named Ben, who's like, he's this Sheik player, and everyone's like, how has no one ever played Sheik like this before? What the fuck? He's like He's destroying top players out of nowhere. This guy who just picked up the game in 2020.
Yeah, Captain Falcon, who used to be considered mostly a joke character, is legitimately in consideration
top five
for top
character.
5. Like,
Yeah.
and it's nuts, dude. The longevity that this game has, the pure passion of the community, that's an entire separate thing. But what this game did in 2001 was take Smash Bros, a pretty fun fighter, and just made it incredible, right? They added so many mechanics and modes and like everything imaginable, right? They almost doubled the roster of characters. They added like adventure mode, classic mode. No, they already had classic mode.
Mhm.
They added like break the targets and fucking.
Nope. Break the Targets was in 64.
I thought only race the platforms was in 64.
Nope. Break the Targets was in 64.
Yeah, I think.
Well, they made break the targets better.
There you go.
And everything in this game was just dialed to 13.
The
like
trophy
is,
system, where like
Oh,
all
the
the
trophies,
collectibles
dude.
with little
Yeah.
nugget like information on like the games they came from and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It countless hours. I obsessed with this game. So I had Smash for the 64. I loved that game. I didn't have a GameCube yet, but I remember spending anytime my mom would bring me with her to go shopping at Walmart, she would go do the shopping while I stood in the video game section playing Melee on the display. I had a friend in Boy Scouts who got a GameCube like right as it came out, and he had Melee, and I'd ask to go over his house every week just to play Melee. Oh man, I was obsessed with this game. It's incredible. Yeah, it's the perfect party game that has still to this point evolved, and like you were saying, Andrew, they are still developing the meta of a game that hasn't been touched since it was released in 21 years. You can't patch Melee.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
like there are like Project M things. Someone just modded Wolf into the game, but like at the competitive level, people are still playing core 1.0 Melee and learning new things, and it's just so cool to watch. It's like, and the most interesting thing about it is this isn't what the creator had envisioned, like what competitive Melee currently is. He just wanted to be a fun party game, and these people who took the game so passionately broke its systems and made it so the characters just like zip around and fly around on the map and do these crazy chains. And now you're watching younger players like Zane, who only started playing within like the last 5 years or so of this 20-year-old game.
He's been playing forever, but he only became a top player in the last few years.
Yeah, and like he took Marth to the next level. Like Mewtwo King was always considered the best Marth, and now fucking Zane's coming out of nowhere. No one can beat him. He's gotten so good, and he'll just carry you across and it's just so cool. It's like the oldest, most well-aged esport, I feel.
Yeah. And I think part of the reason why it does so well compared to things like the future Smash games is that like the way that Melee's mechanics work and the way that the characters' kits are designed, each individual character, at least at the top level and maybe the top tiers in the game, have so many different ways that you can play them. I was listening to the Golden Guardians podcast, the Radio Melee podcast, and Toph was talking about how he can watch a fox play for maybe 30 seconds and recognize that it's Leffen's fox, right? You can recognize the player playing the character without any other information. And the fact that you can do that in this 21-year-old game is pretty incredible. And the same can't be said for something like Ultimate, like sure, the roster in Ultimate is massive. There's over 80 characters in that game, but there really isn't more than one playstyle for each character. Maybe with the exception of some of the top tiers, because the reason those characters are good is because they have those options. Whereas in Melee, there are multiple characters who have so many different ways that you can play them. Each character, when given the time by different people, can look vastly different from one another.
So do you like? I don't know. Just I think of that comparison to Ultimate. Like, do you think you could see that? Like, maybe in 20 years in Ultimate, people could be seeing these. Like, it feels like almost that like people are discovering these options almost because like they've played Ultimate and seen how the characters respond in this game, and then go, I wonder how this would feel if I did this in Melee. with this
No.
character? Is it?
No,
It's just that like
completely unrelated.
yeah, it's just people
It-
that
Melee is such a
do things.
microcosm of mechanical depth that it's like nothing. None of the mechanics in Melee that make it what it is have translated into future Smash games. They specifically made Brawl to be the antithesis of Melee, in that it is the complete
It's-
opposite mechanically. It's
so
slow. It's
slow.
floaty.
Yep.
They removed like a lot of the glitches that you could do. Like they removed directional air dodging because they didn't like wave dashing. But then Brawl had a number of glitches, so then they removed those in Smash 4. So since Brawl, each new Smash game has been an iteration on the previous one's mechanics, barring Melee, because they're trying to like turn Smash into their ideal game where you're playing the game without breaking its
you're playing
not
the
breaking
characters the way they're designed to be played instead of manipulating the game and playing. Okay, I can see. Yeah,
Sure. I think we use the term manipulating the game a little too heavy-handedly in this scenario.
It's like a play style. Like everyone has a different play style, and you can recognize, like Andrew was saying, you can recognize who is playing that character based on the way that person is playing the character, and you don't get that level of creativity in any other fighting game.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to
or
like,
even in any other Smash game.
Yeah,
like wrap your head around like the fact that like okay, I know Fox. I've played Melee. I know what Fox's moves are, but that people can play him differently.
Yeah, it's based on like the moves they use in certain situations and the options they choose and the combos they go for.
Yeah, I guess like it's hard to like think like okay, but how is he different than the Fox in Ultimate?
Well, because over the series they've
changed
changed moves, and due to Ultimate's mechanics, every character in the game, and when we use Fox for this example, has basically like every character in Ultimate essentially has a flow chart. If you land this move, you have these two options, and those are really the only things you can do. Whereas in Melee, it's like if you land a move on Fox, you have 7 different options, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's like the amount of depth in Melee is pretty vast in comparison.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's cool to think about, I guess, the sense that like Melee had 24 characters. It's cool that those 24 characters can kind of all be played 7 different ways, and then you translate that to something like Ultimate, where it's like, well, now instead of 24 characters that can be played 7 different ways, you have 80 characters that each play their own unique way, and it's like I don't know, it's an interesting contrast to
it's definitely a give and take situation.
But obviously, like you guys are saying, with the 80 characters, you are going to have some that are just the best. It doesn't matter. They're the best characters, and like there are characters that are just the bad ones.
Yeah. And in Ultimate, the good characters are the ones with the most options.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Yeah, that's
anyway,
that's a whole deeper conversation we can get into.
Talked for 10
That
minutes
could be an
about
episode.
competitive Melee.
Yeah, I think this game is totally worthy of being on our list. I am not as well versed in this game as this Melee. Smash Brothers for me was always a party game.
Yeah.
It was never a competitive. And then it wasn't until like later on that when I saw people, especially like college, where people were like, "Yeah, we play this game hardcore." Like, oh, you don't just float around in the sky as Kirby and down B every so often.
And Melee has always been special for me because it could be both. Like ever since Smash 4 and onward, since I've been cognizant of the competitive scene, has always been a competitive game for me. That's when I was like a teenager. I stopped liking playing it as a party game. But Melee, playing it growing up, playing it as a young adult now, it can be both for me. It can be both a party game where you get 4 people together, you turn on items, you just have a good time, and then it can also be a competitive game.
Right.
Where
right.
if me and Jeff sat down and committed to Melee, we would have eventually we would have a good time doing it.
Yeah. Andrew, write this down. I would love for us to do an episode where we show Derek like some competitive Melee and have a bigger discussion than this about it and why.
I would
it's
absolutely
so
love
fucking
that.
cool.
That'd be cool.
We'll do a Melee episode. Do we know any good Melee players? We can have Dello on. Dello played Melee competitively.
Does he?
He did. I don't know if he still does. All right. We talked a lot about Super Smash Bros. Melee. We still have 3 games left to go. Also, I don't know if you guys saw, but in the podcast talk, there are new Gazellas Ulabaris discs up. I bought myself a Buzz.
Discs?
Yeah.
I didn't know that they put them on discs.
Yeah. It's a quick
That's awesome.
disc golf tangent. I bought myself a Buzz. They have zones, but I don't think I want the ESP plastic for my
Do they
zone.
have an ESP nuke?
No.
Dang it.
No, Force, Thunderbird. They have Wizards,
Force
but
Buzz
I like
Zone.
my Wizards. Anyways, stop. We're going to stop talking about disc golf on our video game podcast. We're going into our number 3 game. A game we recently just played through in its entirety, Left 4 Dead 2.
Ah, nice.
Left 4 Dead 2, of course, my number 3. T-Con's number 2. And Adam's number 7, it looks like. 7? Yeah, number 7. So, Left 4 Dead 2. T-Con and I, having them both very highly. This game was so much of my my high school years was playing this game with my friends. The campaigns are even, like, we just went back and played through them all today, and how much fun did we have doing that? There's so many laughs and screams and just joy playing through it. And then we didn't even play the multiplayer, which is a whole different aspect of that game that is so much fun. There's this whole other side where you get to play as the special infected and like try to fuck with the survivors and try to get like basically racing to the finish to see who can get further. And yeah, I always loved Left 4 Dead, and it's a game, no matter how many times you play it, you're playing the same levels and campaigns every single time, but no matter how many times you do it, it's still always fun. It's still always so entertaining to go back. And you know where all the weapons are. You know where all of the items are and like what they do. And the tanks usually spawn in this area, and this area. It's like one of those 3. But like it's still so fun. There's so much variety, especially when you start introducing the multiplayer, because you're just playing through the campaigns, but the variety of having humans on the other end of being the bad guys is just so fun and interesting. And I know, Andrew, you just played through it for the first time. It wasn't on your list, but what do you think about it being our number 3?
I think I don't know if I would have put it quite as high, but I think it's definitely like worthy of being in the top 10. It's definitely like a massively fun co-op experience. I haven't played the multiplayer, so I can't really speak to that. But as fun as it is, I didn't put it on my list because I think it stales out after maybe the first couple of times. It's still fun, just maybe doesn't have as much of an impact after you've done 6 missions. But I still I love that game. It's still a great time. I have no qualms with this.
I think I'm incredibly excited for Back 4 Blood because it's the promise of being the Left 4 Dead gameplay while seeming to have more replayability and going to be doing more interesting things to make coming back to it every time more and more interesting and fun. So yeah, I'm very excited for Back 4 Blood. Left 4 Dead 2, our number 3 game on our list with 21 points.
So I know what number 1 is going to be, but I'm very curious to know what number 2 is going to be.
Number 2, a big jump up to 27 points.
What was Left 4 Dead?
Left 4 Dead 21.
I know it left. Yeah,
21.
I feel like I know what number 2 is.
Number 2, Derek knows it. I know it. T-Con out there knows it. It's Halo 3, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Halo 3 is my number 2. It's Derek's number 3, and it was T-Con's number 1. So,
All right.
Halo 3. We talked about Halo a lot earlier in the podcast. But man, if I spent a good chunk of my time playing Left 4 Dead 2, the rest of it was playing Halo 3. The campaign, resolving Master Chief's original trilogy was actually a very satisfying. The marketing campaign leading up to this game was so hype.
Has arguably the best commercial ever made for video games.
Yeah, it's got it had some of the live action trailers. It had the one where it was the miniature sculpture thing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it's going through this battle scene, and the brute chieftain is holding Chief up by his hands, and the plasma grenade in his hand glows, and he looks up, and looks right into the camera, and you're just like, oh, he's about to kill all of these guys. And then just the multiplayer. I put so much time into that multiplayer. Whether it was competitive ranked multiplayer, which I got up to 40. Did I get up to 48 was my highest out of 50? I never got to general. I never got 50. It always bummed me out. Or I was just playing like Big Team Slayer with my friends, where we're all dicking around in vehicles and someone's in a Banshee up here and I got a Spartan laser and Tikon's over in the back with a sniper. Or if we were playing reindeer games where it was custom maps with random shenanigan rules, and like we were talking about earlier, the one where you're launching vehicles at each other, or Slip and Slide where you like glitch off to the corner of the map where the out of bounds border is pushing you down this slide and you spawn with random, like, it's just endless fun. You can do so many different things in Halo, and I put so much time. This was the entirety of my senior year or like late junior, all of senior year of high school was Halo 3. In high school, the juniors and the seniors were allowed to participate in a scavenger hunt around Halloween, and it was costume themed, and it was teams of 4. Not Tikon. Myself, my buddy Will, Corey, and Andrew Whitman, all friends, dear friends of mine. We made Halo armor out of like cardstock paper, and then we painted them and resin some fiberglass on the inside to give it some structure. And so there are pictures of me out there in this like full-on Spartan suit. We were red versus blue. We came in second because some of the teachers who voted thought we just bought the costumes, and I was really mad about it. But yeah, dude, Halo it was my life, and I know it was for Tikon too. We still play. We were just playing silly games a week or so ago with all of our friends. So like it just persists. It's lasted since it came out in 2007.
Yeah,
So,
2007.
So no, it would have been 2009.
2007. No, 2007 is when it came out.
Because I would have been a sophomore. Holy shit.
Yeah.
This was my entire high school career. Because, that would have been the beginning of junior year, right? 7, 8.
Sophomore.
No, that was the beginning of sophomore year. Wow. That was just 3 years straight of playing Halo 3. Because Reach didn't come out until I was in college. That was in 2010 was Halo Reach. So we played Halo for 3 years straight. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the same boat where you were, like, when it came out, it was one of those games, everybody was talking about it. I remember it was in my Algebra 2 class, and that's what, like, everybody was just, like, no one paid attention to the teacher, and that's a whole other story. But, like, everyone was, like, the people I was friends with, we would sit in the back, and, like, people were, like, on the computer or whatever, and I remember the day one of the guys that was like in the friend group found out he was number 2 in the world for Spartan laser kills.
Oh, my hero. Oh,
it was like,
man after my own heart.
Yeah, and it was like, oh my god, what? Like everyone's like crowding around the computer. The teacher has no control over what's going on in the classroom because his name was Jeff, just found out he was number 2 in the world for Spartan laser kills in Halo 3.
The power of the Jeff.
That's incredible.
But it's just, and it's like it was an interesting era of video games. Because it's the pre Call of Duty era, right? Before, like, this was
Black
multiplayer,
Ops or Modern Warfare was out,
right? But it wasn't was Modern Warfare out? I don't think it was.
Hang on, let me look.
You
type in Modern Warfare release date and it gives you the new one.
Or they came out at the same time, maybe.
Yeah, it was also 2007.
Yeah, okay.
So they were the same time frame. Like they were dueling games.
Like Modern Warfare 2 is when it was like real, like everybody was talking about Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
But I feel like Modern Warfare was like a kind of Call of Duty, but still. But yeah. But like the big thing, I think that I don't know. It wasn't just like you didn't go on to play multiplayer games just to play competitive multiplayer or whatever. Like it was like a social thing. Like you played, like I was thinking about how like when I would play Halo 3 or Halo 2 with people, like all of my friends list on Xbox Live was all people that I played Halo to. It was all people I played Halo with.
Mm-hmm.
And half the time, like you would just like see who was online and say, oh, this person's playing a custom game, I'll join in. And you didn't know what they're playing, you don't know what they're doing. Sometimes you join, I remember it, like in Halo 2, and I feel like it was a little less prominent in Halo 3, but sometimes it was just a lobby of people learning to play how to do glitches. And that was like my favorite thing to do for a while. It was like perform all these like crazy
The rocket
stupid,
jump on Zanzibar.
yeah, rocket jumps, super jumps. Like, hey, if you go to this, like all the legends. There was the legend of the black armor on what was it at burial mounds, and it was basically there was this one spot where if you could get out of the map and you went to this one spot, the shaders on your armor didn't load right, so you were just black, and it was like the legend, and everyone was trying to figure out like and then someone found it in the lobby and was like, oh, it's over here, and then everyone, all 16 people in the lobby congregated. It's just like it was a social thing, and now I think about like, oh, multiplayer games aren't like that anymore.
No.
There's nothing out there like Halo 3 reindeer games, but there is, and it's these platforms that we don't use any, like Minecraft and like Roblox. I think is like super popular for shit like this.
My 5-year-old nephew, is he 6 now? 6 or
Six.
He might be
They're 6.
He calls me and he'll like FaceTime me and be like, Uncle Jeff, did you download Roblox yet? And I'm just like, David, I'm not getting Roblox. He's like, it's really fun though. It's you could do all it. He's like, Roblox is one of the biggest games on the planet, and it's we just have no awareness of it because it's all these younger kids playing it. But it's huge.
I think Halo Infinite could like be really big because I think it's gonna bring it, like right now, that ability to create, and like kids love that. And if you have a free to play version of the game that like gets you into these custom scenarios or Forge, we don't know what's going to be the free to play part of Halo Infinite yet, but like if you were to make the Forge world a free part of the game, like people are going to flock to that all over to create all like. I'm really excited to see what they can do with Forge in Halo Infinite.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I remember
3 was where they introduced that, right?
Obsessing with the achievements in this game. Like this, I spent so much of my life trying to get 1,000 gamer score in this game, and then there's like the legend of the recon armor. It was this special unlockable armor that only Bungie employees had. Or no, the flaming skull, the flaming helmet.
The flaming skull was a Bungie employees.
Yeah. But it was like this legendary armor they only gave out to like, I don't know, real life war veterans or winners of the Halo Championship, and eventually they made it available. If like they added more achievements later, and they were super hard achievements to get.
Yeah.
And we ended up, me and my friends did it, and we unlocked recon armor. It was the coolest thing ever. Oh man, Halo. Some of the best times of my life was Halo 3. I'm sorry that Derek and I are just ranting about this.
One of my favorite things that they did was the Steaktacular, and it was they would go into a certain playlist during a certain period, but like you would just face off against Bungie employees, and if you beat them by a certain amount, they would you would win the Steaktacular or whatever, and they would literally send you a steak.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Raise the stakes.
I remember participating in those and getting absolutely obliterated.
Yeah,
no chance.
They would destroy you.
They're so good.
You had to try it.
Halo 3, man. Number 2 game of the 2000s. What a fucking video game. Still playing it to this day. And
all right, now get to the game we can all rant about.
But first, I have to go to the bathroom.
Derek, don't fucking Derek.
No. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. No.
Oh my god.
All
right. I'm not
Derek.
writing this down. I'm not cutting it out. We're just gonna filibuster. What do you guys want to talk about till Derek comes back?
We know what the number 1 game is gonna be. Let's fucking continue.
We'll wait for Derek.
This is his fault. He was 10 minutes late to the podcast. This is what he fucking gets. Let's go. We've talked about it 17,000 times already.
2 beers. Did you end up getting one of the Gazellus Eulabaris discs?
I got 2.
Which ones did you get?
I got a Thunderbird and a Buzz.
I also got a Buzz because I needed to replace the Buzz for Allison, so I figured if I'm going to buy a Buzz, I might as well buy a Gazellus Eulabaris Buzz, and then give her my old one. I thought about getting a Wizard, but I like my Wizard design, so I don't want
The Wizard was sold out when I looked.
No, it's good now. It's on there. And I was originally my plan was to get a Zone, but I really like my my big Z.
Wait, do they have zones?
Yeah, they have it in swirly.
I should have gotten a zone.
Yeah, dude. Anyways, welcome to our Disc Golf podcast, where we talk about our favorite thing in the world, video games.
And disc golf.
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
mad at Derek right now.
Yeah, Derek's the worst. Filibuster. What other game?
I was gonna say my wraiths are supposed to come in next week, I think.
Derek, Halo Wraiths went on sale and Andrew didn't text me.
Why do you want a Halo Wraith when you have a Halo Destroyer?
Because I can crank a Halo Wraith a little bit better than a destroyer.
Oh.
Anyways,
To anyone else listening, I also don't know what any of these terms mean.
speaking of Halo
Well,
3,
technically, Halo and wraiths are relevant to the.
Yeah,
But-
I was like
conversation we just
slightly
had.
confused for a second because I was like, wait, you could buy a physical Halo Wraith?
yeah. So fun fact: when you're a fan of both disc golf and Halo 3, when you type in the phrase Halo Wraith, you get a good mix of two of your favorite things. All right, Derek is back. We're going on our number one game. Everyone knows what it is. It is The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. 33 points. My number one.
Respectable.
Adam's number one. Andrew's number 3. Jose's number 6. And not on Derek's list. Intentionally. I double checked with Derek. I said,
Yeah.
Derek, you know Wind Waker's not on your list. Is that intentional? And he said, yes, that is intentional. So I think to start off,
Explain yourself.
yeah, let's start
Yes.
there. Why didn't you put Wind Waker?
First you leave before number one, and now this.
Because while it's a really good Zelda game, I don't know if it belongs in the greatest games of the series.
Well,
Not
you're
even a
wrong.
decade.
Of the decade.
You're wrong because it's the number one game of the decade,
I
according to
think
us.
there's 10 better games than The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
I disagree wholeheartedly. The Legend of
that's
Zelda
why-
Wind Waker is the best Zelda game, hands down.
I mean that's why I don't necessarily agree with that either. Wind Waker is my favorite game of all time. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, but I think there are better video games than it.
I would agree
It's-
that
That's why I put it at 3. Like it would have been easy for me to say, "Oh, favorite game ever, number 1." But I'm trying to think a little more critically about things than that.
so that's what
So
I feel like I really tried to do with this list because I have played so many games from this decade period that I was like, what games did I play that aren't just nostalgia fuel for me, but also like critically, like if I think about these games, are they like the best games of the decade? And that's kind of where my list came from.
that's
and I
I've tried to think about it that way with all the lists, Derek.
Well, that's the thing is with like the other generations, I hadn't played so many games, so I had to try to do both. What are the games that I like to play, and what games do I think I know are really good? And then with this, I was like, I know I've played a ton of games. I could name, the 10. I don't know. I have a lot of favorite games from this generation because it was like the game, the generation I actively gamed the most. But Wind Waker, while one of my favorite games from that 10-year period, I don't think is objectively the greatest of them all.
See, based on all of that criteria, I also considered all that, and I still put it on my number 1 because I think it does fall under all of that criteria. It is
What? Why?
it is one of the best adventure games of that decade, hands down. It is. The art style is timeless. It is still gorgeous to this day. It was controversial back in the day, but goddamn, is it so pretty to look at. Andrew has it on his shirt right now. It's like, this. It's such a good story. It didn't start with just go save the princess. It started with go save your sister. She got taken away by pirates. Or no, she got captured by the bird. It's like, go with these pirates to go save your sister. And then it evolves into the traditional Zelda story of the princess and Ganondorf and the Triforce. But it doesn't start there. It starts in such an interesting, unique spot, which is such a cool thing for it to do.
I also think that it spins the traditional Zelda story in a way that feels so much more personal and has so much weight to it. I think it's the best Ganondorf, hands down.
Yeah.
And I would even go as far to say the best Zelda villain. It is the best iteration of an antagonist in a Zelda game that we've seen, because
I think so too.
he's in a way oddly relatable. You understand his motivations, and by the end of the game you almost feel for him in a way. And even the supporting characters in Wind Waker are also incredible.
I think that Wind Waker has arguably number 1 or number 2 best collection of dungeons in all of the Zelda games.
Yeah,
Maybe
so well designed.
maybe Twilight Princess is number 1. Twilight Princess fucking shines for its dungeons.
Skyward Sword's dungeons are really good too.
I wouldn't know. I've only played 2 of them. But yeah, dude, this is the complete package. Everything is there. I don't know why you guys are like, oh, it's not critically great. I love it, but like objectively, it's not amazing. What are you on about?
I agree that it's a
we're talking
a solid game.
I have to
It
remind
is a really
you.
good game.
Oh, Derek maybe is being a little more harsh with this than I am because I only removed it a couple spots. I still consider it one of the top 3 games of the decade. For me, it's talking about minutia, right? All 10 games on the list are in theory amazing video games. So it's not like it's the same fallacy we fall into every single time, where it's like, oh well, it's number 11 on the list, which means it's a bad video game. That's not the case,
Yeah, and I agree with that. I just think I guess when I went through my list, I came up with 10 games that I think are better than Wind Waker.
Like from an outside perspective.
Yeah, that just from my perspective, I guess.
Gotcha. But that's the thing about this list.
Yeah,
it's both an objective and subjective list at the same time. Like there is no parameters of like we have to think about this list objectively, taking our own personal bias out of it. It's like no, you're supposed to.
Otherwise, Sonic Adventure would never have been allowed to be on the list.
Yeah, like if we had objective lists, T-Con wouldn't be invited to be a part of these lists.
Wow! Holy shit,
Ouch.
Jeff!
Wow,
he has a family.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like taking your passion for a game and then just kind of ignoring it seems weird to me.
I mean, I'm not ignoring the passion for the game. I'm just saying my passion puts it at number 11.
Well,
that's a fair opinion to have.
It's not even in my top 5 of all time anymore.
Wow. It sounds like you need to play some Wind Waker. Recharge that fire.
Should we put Wind Waker in the hat?
I mean, I'm just waiting for it to be re-released on Switch, and then I'm 1,000%
It's
playing.
probably going to.
That will happen.
I would honestly be shocked if we don't see like a 35th anniversary Zelda thing during E3. I think they're just waiting a little bit.
We'll see something. I don't know if it'll be Wind Waker, but
they already did. It's Skyward Sword.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with each of these lists, I have had at least one game that I've never played before
on the list.
Yeah, on my list.
Yeah, this one is for me. I've only played like 2 hours of BioShock, and I've never beaten Metroid.
No, I mean on my personal list.
Oh, on your personal list.
On my personal list for each of these decades so far, I have included a game that I have not played before, but know enough about it, critically and how it would affect my personal taste that I'm able to remove, like Derek said, the passion from it, and think a little more about it. I think, and that's fine. That we do it that way, and it's fine that you guys do it a different way.
But that's the thing, though, is like I'm thinking in the ways that you are, and I'm still putting Wind Waker at the top. Under those parameters, I would still put Wind Waker as my number 1.
Yeah, I mean it's still my number 3, so I think Derek is probably
dumb. I agree.
Pretty sus, Derek.
I don't know. Wait till you hear my list.
Yeah, I haven't heard Derek's whole list,
all right,
so maybe.
Well, here we go. We'll go through everyone's personal list.
Right.
Derek's number 1, Uncharted 2. His number 2, Metal Gear Solid 3. Then Halo 3, Super Mario Galaxy, World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Resident Evil 4, GTA 4, Half-Life 2, Dead Space, BioShock. Not a bad list. But your argument that like Wind Waker couldn't possibly be above any of these 10 games is a little crazy to me.
I don't know. I don't think he said that.
It isn't.
I don't think Derek said that it was as like black and white as it is. I feel like there's a world where Wind Waker makes it on Derek's list, right? Like maybe on a different day you flip flop. I don't know. It seems like it's a little closer than Jeff is making it out to be.
I mean, I thought about this. I had it like in my list of game. I had like a list of like 15 games that were like, what's gonna make my top 10, and it was in there. And at one point, I just removed it.
Yeah. Andrew's list. Number 1, Okami. 2, Metroid Prime. 3, Wind Waker. 4, Melee. 5, Rock Band 2. Mother 3, Demon Souls, Super Mario Galaxy, Assassin's Creed 2, Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. Shout out to Paper Mario. That was a good pick. The problem with putting these games in your number 10 slot, it's like it probably will never show up.
Nope.
T-Con. I love T-Con's list because the top 3, usually pretty respectable. The next 2 or 3, not bad. The bottom 4... gets fucking weird. All right. T-Con, number 1, Halo 3. Number 2, Left 4 Dead 2. Number 3, Batman Arkham Asylum. Number 4, Luigi's Mansion. Number 5, Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Okay.
Which I had considered putting on my list, but I ended up not having
Okay, now here's the weird ones.
Okay, well, we got Portal next.
All right.
Okay, Portal's respectable.
Number 4, what is this?
Where's the
7?
Sonic game?
Number 7, no Sonic games.
Maybe he took what we said to heart.
Number 7, Need for Speed Most Wanted. Number 8, Lego Star Wars. Number 9, Ace Combat 6. Number 10, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.
Okay.
I think he's just trolling us now.
10th best game of the 2000s. Jose's list. So this Jose only had 2 games from his list end up on the main list, and which is usually he the last 2 times I think he had the most games. So he had Ninja Gaiden Black, Knights of the Old Republic, Devil May Cry 3.
I thought Knights of the Old Republic was a 90s game.
No, it came out in 2000.
Yeah,
did it?
2002 or 3, yeah. Devil May Cry 3, Twilight Princess was number 4, Shadow of the Colossus, Wind Waker, Dead Space, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Assassin's Creed 2, and Fallout 3.
Yeah, but see, those are all games that I would still consider worthy.
Yeah.
Like a Ninja Gaiden Black, I guess I don't know, but I know that's a really good Ninja Gaiden game. Like I know Devil May Cry 3 is considered the best Devil May Cry game. There's
like I said earlier,
really good.
There's just a lot of really good video games.
Yeah. It was a really good decade.
There's too many good. It's the decade where we start seeing all these iconic new franchises start popping up. So even going into the next decade, there's just going to be so much more to pick from.
Yeah, I think you're on to something though, Adam. Saying we're going to hone it in the next decade. I think it's going to be a little bit tighter than this one.
Didn't I say that?
Was it you who said that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is going to be the biggest divergence.
Although
that we
10, the 2010s this time was really hard for me because I was narrowing down 30 games for my 10.
Damn. All right, Adam's list. Wind Waker was number 1, followed by BioShock, Super Mario Galaxy, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Portal, Minecraft, Left 4 Dead 2, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and World of Warcraft.
Adam, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl over Platinum?
I put the original.
I imagine in his mind it's the same thing.
Yeah, in my mind they're all kind of the same thing.
It's not.
Well, I understand that, but
and then my list, you already know the top 4. Wind Waker, Halo 3, Left 4 Dead 2, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Final Fantasy X, Resident Evil 4, Guitar Hero 3, Metroid Prime, and then these 2 are just darling ones for me, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, and Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. I have some words to say about that game in an upcoming podcast. Yeah, this time around, my list had the most on the main list. I think I only had 3 that didn't end up on the main list.
I had 5,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty good.
All right, so I guess we'll go through our list.
But none of you have played Okami, so
That's
maybe
true.
that'll change someday.
None of you have played Uncharted 2.
I've been meaning to.
Our number 10 game was Rock Band / Guitar Hero. Take any of them. They're all the same. Number 9, Resident Evil 4. Number 8, BioShock. Number 7, Portal. Number 6, Metroid Prime. Number 5, Super Mario Galaxy. Number 4, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Number 3, Left 4 Dead 2. Number 2, Halo 3. And our number 1 game of the 2000s, The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. All right. Next week is the 2010s, the most recent decade. We did an episode on this already.
The Ferrara cut.
I can't wait to change all of mine.
My list looks drastically different.
Really? I
The,
think
the
mine's-
results may shock you.
That's some clickbait right there. I think mine's going to be relatively the same. Looking at an existing list of mine. There's a
And
couple
this
of
is-
things.
This is
That are
kind
gonna
of
be
what I was talking about earlier too. Last year when we did this exact thing, my top 10 was my top 10 favorite games.
Yeah.
I did not take critical acclaim or analysis into account, and this time I tried to do that. Including some games that I maybe hadn't played by this time last year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
When
I've
did we-
played a bunch.
Is this when
From
we did
last
it
year.
last year? Was it around this time?
We did
was
it in, like,
earlier.
February.
Yeah, it was February.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm curious because I've played a lot of games since then.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting for sure. But let's wrap up this episode by doing some trivia. And
Heck yeah.
obviously, as you all know, it is going to be 2000s video game trivia. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Yes.
1 second. I'm just clearing
Oh.
my
Your
trivia.
board- Your trivia board.
Yeah.
All right.
Your search history.
Question number 1. What was the first Zelda game released in the 2000s? The first Zelda game to be released in the 2000 decade. Adam?
Oh, already? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like
Um,
you probably don't need a ton of time, right?
Majora's Mask.
Andrew?
Majora's Mask.
Derek?
I put Link's Awakening, but
It
you're right. It's
was
Majora's Mask. I
Majora's
forgot it was 2000.
Mask.
Yeah, it was early.
It was the year
Majora's
2000.
Mask was another like 11, 12 range game for me.
Question number 2. The PS3 had a feature that the Xbox chose not to include, causing it to become popular with non-gamers and sell more than it probably would have without it. What is that feature?
I know what it is.
I have a hint if you guys want it, but it seems like you might not need it.
I never
know
had
what
one.
it is.
Andrew knows what it is. Derek, do you have an idea of what I'm
You-
talking about?
I believe so.
Can you repeat the question?
Okay. The PS3 had a feature that the Xbox chose not to include, causing it to become popular with non-gamers and sell more than it probably would have without it. What is the feature? You're going to go first, Adam, so whenever you're ready.
I'm gonna guess like Netflix and or like streaming services.
Derek?
Blu-ray.
Andrew?
Blu-ray.
It was a
Oh.
Blu-ray player. Sony decided to put a Blu-ray player in the PS3 right at the dawn of Blu-ray becoming a thing. My
That's
hint-
because they designed it. They designed Blu-ray.
Sony owns Blu-ray. But Microsoft
Wow.
didn't put HD DVD player in the Xbox. And I've told the story before. My hint was my dad considered buying one for the feature. My dad historically bought an HD DVD player, assuming that was going to be the format that won.
Yeah.
It did not.
The Format Wars.
But I think the PlayStation 3 is what single-handedly won Blu-ray, the format wars.
It was the cheapest Blu-ray.
It was
player.
Yeah. And you got a PlayStation with it. So point for Andrew,
Jeff,
point for Derek.
True believers know that the winner of the Format Wars is the Laserdisc.
Question number 3. What was the top-selling game of the 2000s? Almost doubling the second best-selling game. The top-selling game.
Is
of-
this the top-selling game?
Period.
Period? Okay.
The top-selling game of the 2000s. Period. From the years 2000 to 2009, what was the top-selling game? We're going to have Derek go first on this one.
Mario Kart Wii.
Adam?
I was gonna guess Minecraft because technically it was 2009.
Andrew?
I mean, I had Minecraft on my 2010s list last year. Melee.
It is actually Wii Sports, you clowns.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense,
Really?
actually.
Everyone,
Oh, is that because it came with the Wii?
it doesn't.
So-
It still counts.
How can you count that? Because you can't buy it.
But you buy it when you buy a Wii.
I guess
mean-
the question should have been what game was in most households.
Had the
Like,
What was
highest
the largest
attach rate?
install base?
yeah, because selling is a different metric than an install base metric.
And then yeah, because
If I could buy
Yeah.
Wii Sports right now, I would buy it. But I
can't argue
can't
with
physically
me.
buy Wii Sports.
No
Shut up,
points.
Derek. Go
You're
pee
not-
or something.
Yeah, you're not allowed to argue with me. No points. Question number 4.
I'm not saying I get points, but
What game is the highest rated game on Metacritic to come out in the 2000s? and I can give you a hint if you guys want it. What is
I
the
might need a hint.
highest rated game on Metacritic? You want the hint?
If you're offering a free hint,
Yeah, I'll take the hint.
It's the number 2 game on Metacritic.
okay.
So that's your hint.
Ow. The vaccine's really kicking in.
Oh yeah, my arm,
My arm's
my
fucking
left
dead.
arm hurts.
Ow. Yeah, me
It's
too.
sore. I can't lift it. All right, we're gonna have Adam go first on this one. What is the top rated game of the 2000s, which is number 2 overall on the list?
Halo 3.
Derek?
Going for pity points.
Man. Number 2.
This could be so many things.
Super Mario Galaxy.
Andrew?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
It is Tony Hawk Pro
Oh,
Skater 2, the second highest rated game of all time.
I remember we
Really?
talked
So-
about this.
I knew that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 was in the top 5. If I just want to clarify, you might have seen me typing. I was looking up the release date for it because I wasn't sure if it came out in the
Okay.
90s or not.
Sure.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Listen, man,
it's
I'm a man of
behind-
my word.
it's behind only Ocarina of Time.
I knew Ocarina of Time was number 1.
All right, Andrew wins automatically, but we'll go.
My
with
other
question
guess
number
was
5.
GTA 4. Was GTA 4 in the top 5?
Reopen, close tab. GTA 4 was number 3.
So I would have been close to that game.
And number 5. All right. Question number 5, which doesn't matter. The Xbox 360 featured something called Gamer Zones, which let you declare your gaming playstyle. Name 2 of them. There were 5 total Gamer Zones. Yeah, you guys don't. Andrew and Adam, I'm assuming you're not going to get any. Derek, how many of the Gamer Zones can you name?
None. I can't name any of the gamers.
So,
All right.
wait, can you repeat what is a gamer zone?
What is a gamer zone?
So in your profile, you would declare yourself in one of these gamer zones to you would tell people like what your vibe is when you play video games. So there was recreation, there was pro, there was underground. You remember now?
Oh, now I remember.
There was family, and then there was a 5th secret one called cheater. If you got caught cheating,
Yeah.
they would log into your account and make your thing say cheater, and you couldn't undo it. So
I remember that now.
What were you? I was always pro because I wasn't
pretty
recreational, but underground was a bunch of tools.
I think I swapped between pro and underground from time to time.
Underground were those people who thought they were edgy, but it's like I'm
I'm
sure the underground people are like, I'm those fucking losers that put pro. So there's always a war between the pro and
I'm
the
a pro
underground.
gamer.
There was no just like, I'm just here to have fun, man. I guess that's recreation. Anyways, tiebreaker
Yeah.
for fun. Congratulations, Andrew, on winning. Tiebreaker for fun. How many Zelda games were released in the 2000s?
7.
Including seasons and ages as separate ones?
Yes.
Okay.
Including Link's crossbow training?
No. Was that in the 2000s?
Obviously.
Yeah, it would have been, huh? Not including crossbow training.
8?
Derek?
7.
I said 7.
Oh, it was 10. There's one each year.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
there was 1 year gap because Oracle of Ages and Seasons came out the same year. I don't remember which
Yeah.
year was the gap year.
What was it? Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Seasons, Ages, Phantom Hourglass,
Spirit Tracks.
Twilight Princess.
Spirit Tracks.
Just Spirit Tracks in the 2000s?
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was a little later.
So
Does
what was
the
the
Master
ninth
Collection count?
The what? No.
The collector's
Zelda Master
edition?
Collection?
Fine. We'll fucking look this up. Zelda games. You guys are making me do this.
Hey man,
Did you
you're
count,
the one who did Four Swords Adventures?
Minish
got
Cap? Four Swords
Majora's
Adventures?
Mask, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, Link to the Past, Four Swords.
Yeah.
So Four Swords, Wind Waker, Four Swords Adventure, Minish Cap, Twilight Princess, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks. And then
Wow.
Skyward Sword was in 2011.
Link's crossbow training?
No!
Forgot about Minish Cap.
All right.
And Soul Calibur 2, which featured Link.
Yeah,
That
it's a
brings
Zelda
us
game. It's
to the
canon.
end of this episode of the Game Sharks podcast. Thank you very much for listening. You can find us on thegamesharks.com where you can check out my review of Bravely Default 2. We're going to be reviewing a couple games coming forward. I think going forward, it's safe to assume that only Andrew and I are going to be writing reviews because no one else can seem to be bothered to do it.
I keep forgetting. I want to.
Derek's not even listening.
Derek's not even listening. He's probably like talking to Kayla, hey, these idiots think I'm going to write a review for their website.
Every time Derek has to write, every time Derek thinks about writing the review, he has to pee.
Yeah.
And then he forgets. Check us out on thegamesharks.com. You can send us an email at gamesharkspodcast@yahoo.com. What are your top games of the 2000s? How do you pronounce it? Do you pronounce it 2000s? Do you pronounce it Audies? Do you pronounce it Naughties? Do you call it something else? Let us know. And you can send us any trivia questions you have for the boys. Obviously, next week's trivia is going to be about the 2010s. So feel free to send any questions if you have any. But I believe, gentlemen, with that, we are finned.
Well, that one was a clusterfuck.
Yeah.